Hello? Alright, just making sure the mic works. Alright, want to make sure you guys can hear me first. Make sure the mic is functional. Don't want any disruptions. Catabunga, Wolfpack! Cat is back, and we're doing a ranking on all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, with Mutant Mayhem, which is the most recent one. Yeah, don't worry, they're all here. Alright, mic seems to be working. Make sure you guys can hear me. Don't want any mic screw-ups like last time. Oh, got a big crowd this time. Sup, Cat? Thought I'd drop by for this live stream. Glad you did. We're talking turtles. Hey there, just some random guy who comments, hey Shadowlink, cowabunga! Whoa, I'm real early. Yeah, you made it early this time. Does this include the DTV movies? Yes, we got Batman vs. the Ninja Turtles and the Rise of the Ninja Turtles movie on here. Sadly, we do not have the musical, we don't have the Coming Out of Their Shells tour, and we don't have any of the stage plays which did get video adaptations, because I guess those don't count. Alright, thank you. You can hear me. Thank you. Welcome back, Wolfpack. Do I even need to explain the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? These guys are a household name on par with the Transformers and Batman. Everyone who's had a childhood has grown up with the Ninja Turtles in some capacity. We all have our own generation of turtles. Whether it's the 80s one, the 90s movies, the Kick-Ass 2003 4Kids cartoon, the Kick-Ass 2012 the Ninja Turtles cartoon on Nickelodeon. Sorry, I lost my words there. Or, if you're unfortunate enough, the Mutant Mayhem Turtles. And the Turtles have basically been a huge franchise around forever. They've had so many shows, and as you can see, so many films. We have all their theatrical films, and some of the direct-to-video stuff is on here. Rise of the TMNT and Batman vs. Ninja Turtles are on here. We have even Mutant Mayhem on here, and we're gonna be ranking every Ninja Turtle movie. So, do I even need to explain the turtle origins? Basically, 4 turtles and their sensei, who's a rat, sometimes a human in some incarnations, are horribly mutated into kick-ass ninja superheroes. They're teenagers, they're mutant monsters, they're ninjutsu masters, and they're talking turtles. It's a silly franchise, but a really cool kick-ass kind of silly. It is up there like next to Batman, the Transformers, and even Ghostbusters in terms of popularity. Everyone knows who the Ninja Turtles are. Leonardo's the leader, Donatello does machines, Raphael is cool but rude, and Michelangelo's the party dude. And depending on what variation, their allies may vary. Master Splinter is usually in it. We have April O'Neil, who's a reporter, or a scientist, or sometimes a teenage girl, or sometimes Megan Fox, Casey Jones, the kick-ass street vigilante, and so on and so forth. As you can tell, it was a huge hit because it had so many movies spanning from the 1990s all the way to the current 2020s because the Ninja Turtles kick ass. They are fun. I love this franchise. It is basically a silly cartoon, but ultimately, deep down, really kick-ass superheroes. There's some very deep morals, some deep stories, and just mindless fun for everyone of all ages. There's fun for kids, fun for adults, cute references for adult fans who grew up with the older turtle lore, but yeah, we all love Ninja Turtles. And the less said about the next mutation, the better. Yeah, we don't talk about that one. I have TMNT Mutant Mayhem on 4K Ultra HD, and it was a Walmart exclusive steelbook. Yeah, we have some words about Mutant Mayhem, but we'll get to that. As you can see, we got all the theatrical movies and some direct-to-video. Turtles Forever is on here, and the Batman crossover, which I love, is on here. Plays Tarzan Boy. Yeah, we all love Ninja Turtles. All their theme songs kick ass, even the 80s one. Except for the next mutation. We don't talk about that show in these parts. And we're gonna be ranking all of them on the tier list. So I have to explain if this is your first tier list ever. We're ranking them from best to worst. Down at the bottom, we have the ow face. bad. These are F. These are bad pizza slice, horrible mutant monsters, the F, the failures, and we will be seeing some down here. Looking at you, Shrek Turtles. Now we have the meh. These are forgettable. They're just another turtle film. These ones laid no impression whatsoever. They're the weak ones, the duds, the ones that fell into obscurity really fast. Not bad enough to be offensively bad, but still pretty lame. Then we have good. These are pretty much okay. They're average. They're decent flicks. They did their job. They entertained. They had some good moments, but an equal amount of bad moments. We might not see many in here because a turtle film is usually awesome or a total dud. Then we have totally awesome. These are the A tier. These ones are fun. They're a good time. They're a good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film, but far from the perfect classics, if you catch my drift. And up top, of course, we have Cowabunga! Turtle classics, the ultimate pizza slice, the best of the best, the ninjutsu masters. All the greatest TMNT films will be up here, and we might actually see a high number up here. So let's get this show on the road with the original first ever Ninja Turtles movie, the 1990s Muppet Turtles. Okay, got plenty of you here. Yeah, let's start with the first one. Of course, big shock, it's going in Cowabunga! Of course it is. This movie is awesome. If you are new to Ninja Turtles, it's basically an origin movie, but it does have its own plot, like introduced halfway near the end. This is the ultimate love letter for classic Ninja Turtles. It has love for the 80s cartoon, love for the comics, and especially love for like kind of Batman 89 style comic book movies. This is like the Tim Burton's Batman 1989 for Ninja Turtles. It is surprisingly serious, but it does have the laid back turtle attitude. The turtles look very impressive in this. Now, they're not gonna blow you away, especially some kids, because they are pretty much Muppets in this version, but the turtle suits look their best in this movie. The turtles are actually stuntmen wearing turtle suits, so they're actually really there, unlike the Shrek Turtles, where you can tell they're seriously fake. Here, it's more of a practical. They still look a bit fake, but a fun kind of fake. They look like they're really there. They're actually trying. The Muppet suits have a certain charm to them. Basically, it's an origin for the Ninja Turtles. It tells you who the Turtles are, who the Shredder is, and it's basically their first confrontation. A lot of tributes to the 80s cartoon, and especially the comic book. 1990s TMNT is a classic, still a fun movie to this day and a very good cast. Yeah, it has actually held up very well. There is some dated stuff, like the Turtles do make topical jokes and references at times, but nothing that'll suck you out of the fun. You remember the Donatello mouth scene? Yeah, I did show a picture of that at one point. Can't go wrong with the first film. Very exciting for its upcoming 4K Ultra HD release. Aw, sweet. The 90s movie is coming to 4K. Really kick-ass. Angry Video Game Nerd said he viewed this movie as the end of the 80s and the beginning of the 90s. Yeah, it kind of is. This one is definitely taking a lot of tips from Batman 89. It is a very serious movie. I say serious, but there's some cutesy jokes because, of course, it's Ninja Turtles. They have a lot of funny stuff in there, too. April O'Neil and Casey Jones are definitely funny in this movie. Elias Koteas really kicks ass as Casey Jones, and this has easily my favorite Michelangelo. Robbie Rist is my all-time favorite definitive Michelangelo. He is funny, he kicks butt, he tells really goofy jokes, he definitely lives up to the party dude persona. I love Robbie Rist's Michelangelo the most. Corey Feldman is Donatello, and I've always kind of had mixed feelings about him. He's no Sam Riegel, we'll leave it at that, but he did a good job. Raphael sounds a bit too much like Kermit the Frog for me. Yeah, I know it's the Muppet guys behind it, but yeah, Raphael's voice didn't really do it for me, and Leonardo is okay. Master Splinter actually sounds pretty awesome in this. I made a funny. If you don't know, of course the villain is the Shredder. The Foot Clan are a lot more brutal and scarier in this one. Shredder is basically kind of a creepy Pinocchio Coachman-esque villain. He's luring in runaway children and convincing kids to run away to his Foot Clan, where he has an underground kick-ass 90s arcade where they can play games all they want, but in exchange, they repay him by becoming foot soldiers. And the Foot Clan are mostly made up of homeless people and runaway kids who think Shredder cares for them. He's actually this manipulative bastard using the kids for his own revenge scheme and conquering New York. Ah, Yara Altro, you made it. I weirdly remember more the second movie than the first. Yeah, I actually like Secret of the Ooze a bit more. The first movie has a lot of mature and slow moments. To me, it sometimes got boring at times, particularly the infamous farm scene. Yeah, the Turtles actually lose to Shredder and have to run away. Master Splinter is taken hostage and presumed dead for a while by the Turtles, and the Turtles basically hide on a farm and slowly mature and grasp the real war they're fighting. Still has the best live-action Shredder 2, up there with Scott Reyes and Kevin Michael Richardson Shredder. Yeah, I love them both. And then the sequel made them more elementary-ish. I like Secret of the Ooze. Maybe because it was more broadcasted on TV. Also, Raphael was the only one whose voice actor did the suit version, minus the fight scenes. Yeah, if you don't know, the action... pretty kick-ass. Again, more like Batman 89. It's an old-school comic kind of fist fight. The Turtles are fighting foot soldiers, jumping buildings. A lot of people get hurled through walls and floors in this, which makes it totally awesome. I mean, the Turtles kick butt. They are always wicked. There's a subplot about one of, April's boss has a son who runs away and joins the Foot Clan. The son befriends Splinter while he's captured and tortured. Shredder interrogated a rat. We find out they are following the comic version, where Splinter was Master Roshi's pet rat who watched his master practice ninjutsu and studied it himself in that cage. Yeah, Splinter learned ninjutsu when he was a pet rodent, watching his master try it out. Shredder killed Master Roshi when he stood up to him, and the rat clawed Shredder's face before being thrown down the sewer, where they were flushed down with the Turtles and the mutagen, and you know the story. Basically, Splinter was Master Roshi's pet rat, and Shredder's trying to finish the job, realizing that the Turtles are the only ones who stand in his way of conquering New York. Hey Akira, you made it. Yeah, we're talking about TMNT. I actually did want to rank all the TMNT films for a while, but wasn't sure if there was enough interest there, so I decided cut out the middleman, make it a stream. Though to be fair, the sequel was more lighthearted, simply because of the outcry from overprotective parents. Yeah, those usually kill the fun. I'm pretty much a TMNT chameleon when meeting medias. I met the original cartoon in different broadcasts and dubs, then watched a bit of the 2003 TMNT, and later on would actually get and watch the show. The first Turtle show I saw all the way through was the 2012 Nickelodeon one, the CGI Turtles. I watched all of that. I did catch bits and pieces of the 2003 show, but unfortunately, this was before streaming and DVRs, so I kind of missed episodes and felt like I wasn't keeping up with the show enough. Didn't watch it all the way through until years later. Hey, Jon Snow, you made it. Don't worry, we're talking about the first film still. It's on Cowabunga, because it's a classic. And I regretted not giving it a chance. Okay. It's a shame that TMNT and the Power Rangers crossover movie and then the comics was not shown. Well, Power Rangers in space met the Ninja Turtles, but we don't talk about those turtles meeting the Power Rangers. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, this movie, pretty classic. The Turtles, of course, mature, learn that Splinter did have faith in them all along, and they master their ninjutsu action and go confront the Shredder, where we have the famous fight on the rooftop, and every turtle story ever always has the Ninja Turtles fighting the Shredder on a rooftop, thanks to this movie. You remember Shredder gets his butt whooped, he falls, Master Splinter kicks him into the dump truck, and Casey Jones pretty much murders him right there. Oops. Yeah, he gets crushed and somehow survives that with no explanation. But yeah, the Shredder's empire is toppled. The kids apologize for being brats and are freed from his slave ring. The Foot Clan loses and the Turtles save the day and crack the mystery. Yeah, this one's a classic. Of course, it's in Cowabunga. This is the perfect introductory to Ninja Turtles. It introduces people unfamiliar with this franchise to the Turtles and tells a very faithful origin story. And yeah, it's pretty much Batman 1989 for kids. Who doesn't like that? Classic. It is a Cowabunga pizza slice. Alright, then we came the sequel. So, this sequel has a bit of a mixed reception, mainly because they made it more lighthearted. Apparently, a bunch of parents were offended that the first movie had some intense, adult-oriented stuff. Like, the Turtles use cuss words in the first movie. There's that infamous, "Damn!" scene where Raphael swears. I really like that scene. But yeah, parents complained, so they toned it down. So we went from Batman 89 to a Batman Forever style Turtle sequel. However, I actually really like The Secret of the Ooze, and it's going on Cowabunga. Yeah, I know, controversial opinion, but I actually like The Secret of the Ooze a lot. Sometimes there are moments where I actually laughed more than in the first movie. Checking up on comments. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Yeah, this movie actually made Vanilla Ice cool. That right there is a miracle. Brian Tochi, the actor for Leonardo, also played the Green Army Men in Toy Story. I think he was also in those Mortal Kombat games. The ones where they did the mocap suits. I like that scene from Child's Play 3. Secret of the Ooze is also classic. Still a fun, good time, and was more interesting for the Turtles fighting other mutants. Yeah, this is why I like Secret of the Ooze a bit more than the first, because they actually shine the spotlight on the Turtles. We find out about mutagen in this movie, how the Turtles came to be, the TCRI company, and I think David Warner plays kind of a prototype Baxter Stockman in this. Yeah, there was kind of a copyright dispute over the Baxter Stockman character, and allegedly there's a deleted scene out there that David Warner was supposed to be an Utrom. He was supposed to be revealed to be like a Krang Utrom underneath a human suit. However, it got deleted because the director did not like how it turned out. The effects did not look good, and considering how weird the Turtle movies are, I can only assume it looked like a bad Krang Muppet probably underneath. So unfortunately, David Warner is like a good guy version of Baxter Stockman instead. Seriously controversial? Yeah, the swear scene was controversial. You know, Baxter Stockman was originally supposed to be the villain in the sequel. Yeah, I did get that kind of impression. David Warner looks like Baxter Stockman from the 80s cartoon, the one where he was a white guy. He did look and act like him, however, he was ultimately a good guy in this movie. He feels more like Agent Bishop, if anything, but no, he was like supposed to be a knockoff Baxter Stockman, but a good guy because the Shredder actually kidnaps him and forces him to use the ooze to help him make mutant monsters. Also, Xing Lao Zhang Lao in the Aladdin the Animated Series. Okay. Oh, he was Liu Kang in Defenders of the Realm. That's awesome. Shredder. Babies! They're babies! Yeah, still one of my favorite parts. I meant the sequel opinion, but yeah. Okay, yeah, this movie is controversial among fans because they toned it down, they made it more lighthearted. It is a lot more kid-friendly than the first one. I mean, the first one had the Turtles cussing and actually killing people. Here, it's a lot more like the 80s cartoon brought to life. But that's what I kind of like about it. It's the 80s cartoon brought to life. The Turtles are a lot funnier in this. There's more focus on them. Shredder is alive and rebuilding the Foot Clan. However, realizing that the Turtles are too strong for him, he decides to make his own mutant army where we are introduced to Toka and Razar. Yep, Toka and Razar are in this movie, kind of standing in for Bebop and Rocksteady, but exactly like Baxter Stockman, there was apparently some legal rights issues actually using Bebop and Rocksteady. But Toka and Razar, I thought were pretty awesome. They're basically giant man-children. Razar is like a superpowered Hulk dog, and Toka is an evil snapping turtle. He looks like Anguirus and Slash had a baby together, but yeah, they're these adorable evil baby monster minions that destroy for the name of Shredder, and yeah, they're pretty kick-ass. Love the fights with them because they're actually too OP for the Turtles to take on, because Shredder actually used actually used Baxter Stockman's tips to help make the babies follow his every command by making them think he's their mom. Made it more like the cartoon. Yeah, that's what they did. I heard that they didn't have him as the villain because they didn't think they'd be able to do it because of technical limitations. Again, there's like a deleted scene where we see an Utrom. I can only presume it looks like a bad Muppet, and they didn't think it looked very good. I mean, look at Toka and Razar's costumes. You could tell they are basically wearing like kaiju outfits. I can assume that the Utroms and Krang probably wouldn't translate well in the live action, which is why they backtracked on doing it. Yeah, Leonardo's David Wong and Wong's Lost and Found Emporium. Haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, they made it more like the cartoon. Yeah, since I grew with it, I never noticed the issues. Also, the dub might have spared me from the swear words on the first. Yeah, if you watch the first Turtles movie on TV, they do censor the swear words. The entire damn scene where he's screaming at the wind is gone in some versions. Also, the Shredder actor David McCarran was Harry Hotash in the Popeye live-action movie. Never saw it. Didn't Megatron voice the two Bebop and Rocksteady imposters? Yes, Frank Welker is Toka and... Toka and Razar. Frank Welker is Toka and Razar because if there's any evil animal voices, it's always Frank Welker or D. Bradley Baker. Basically, the Shredder makes his mutant army, Toka and Razar go on a rampage across town. The Foot Clan once again is trying to conquer New York. However, this is why I like the second movie. The Turtles actually undergo kind of like a crisis, an identity crisis. They lose all self-confidence because they realize that the accident that created them was just that, an accident. Mutagen accidentally leaked into the sewers while David Warner's team was trying to clean it up, and it mutated the Turtles by freak accident into the badass ninja warriors we know and love. And the Turtles basically thought that they were meant for something more, that they had a purpose, that they had a higher destiny, a higher power that created them, and they undergo a bit like they lose like self-esteem and a lot of confidence, questioning their identity and wondering, was it really all just an accident? Are we really not special? That type of deal. And that actually made me care for the Turtles a lot more than in the first movie where they're kind of angsting about saving their father. Here, the Turtles actually question their existence. They wonder if they actually had a higher purpose this whole time. And basically, it's about the Turtles getting their groove back and facing the Shredder and his mutant monsters once and for all. Yeah, Jim Henson's company was glad they weren't a part of the third film. Yeah, this was the last time the Jim Henson Muppets worked on the Turtles movies, and you can tell when we get to the third one that the turtle suits got downgraded. Definitely. Okay, yeah, so I actually like the Turtles arcs, where they basically get their groove back, get their self-esteem back, and after they save David Warner, they work together. David Warner, praises them as heroes, and the Turtles actually gain some self-confidence, and they fight the Shredder at the Vanilla Ice concert, where we get the Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go. Toka and Razar are depowered, and they fight Shredder, who mutates himself into Super Shredder, only for him to anticlimatically kill himself and break the bridge they were standing on, which crushes him to death. Yeah, let's just say Super Shredder was done a lot better in the cartoons. Yeah, Shredder's mutant form is really kick-ass, but they unfortunately kill him off in a comedic scene, and that's the last we ever see of Shredder in this TMNT timeline. But yeah, they saved the day. The Turtles are now fully proud of themselves, fully confident, and they save New York, where Master Splinter makes another funny. Yeah, it's stupid, but it's a fun stupid. This is kind of the Batman Forever to the first movie's Batman 89, but I love both Batman 89 and Batman Forever, so of course I love TMNT 1 and 2 equally. I have fun with this movie. I think it's still a classic. Yeah, it's not better than the first movie, but it is not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's a lot more child-friendly, but still has its own charm, has its own fun, has its own creativity, has iconic quotes, as Shredder gets a lot of good lines in this one, and has a very captivating plot. The Turtles are awesome in this movie, and I still think the second movie is just as good as the first, so it's going on cowabunga. Yeah, I watched the 2012 TMNT cartoon if you want a more menacing, badass Super Shredder. Yeah, he looked awesome in the 2012 version. Like, Shredder turns into like a Resident Evil boss fight in that cartoon. Super Shredder is horrifying in the 2012 tune, and he's pretty badass in the video game too. If you played Shredder's Revenge, his final form is supposed to be Super Shredder, but he looks really awesome in that game too. Sorry, just reading some comments. I remember the third one had Baltimore's Tarzan Boy in the soundtrack, quite a bop, and also the main theme. Picked for a very popular audience TV show here called Perdidos na Noite. Yeah, Super Shredder. Also, he was Ermac and Kano in MK 2011. Okay. Who's the villain in the third? Is it Krang? A. Krang? B. Baxter Stockman? C. Rat King? D. Leatherhead? Or E. All of the above? Nope, it's F. It's some random evil old British guy in a bird cage. I'll say they at least kept it threatening. A sad fumble that the 2003 TMNT made, since the producers and executives wanted the last seasons to be toned down. Yeah, did not like Back to the Sewers, and I know my friend Emily loves Fast Forward, but I thought that was terrible. It's where the show got way too lighthearted. Secret of the Ooze is more badass than Fast Forward. I'm just gonna say that. Okay, so, yeah, you get the idea. TMNT 2 was classic. Unfortunately, we get to the final entry in the trilogy, TMNT 3, and it's gonna be our first, shell shock. Yeah, it's bad, people. The third movie is bad. Jim Henson's Muppet Company did not come back, and you can tell because the turtle suits look god-awful in this movie. This is the Turtles in Time movie. The Turtles chase an evil old British man with a bird cage into the past feudal Japan and get into wacky misadventures along the way. I think it really says a lot that people only tolerate this movie because of the video game Turtles in Time, which is so much better than watching this crap. Yeah, this movie sucks. If you thought The Secret of the Ooze was too child-friendly, oh boy, this is Batman and Robin and Teen Titans Go cringe-inducingly bad. TMNT 3, sigh. God, was this turtle garbage. I say shell shock. Yeah, Angry Video Game Nerd did a very good review on this, basically telling people why everyone was disappointed with the third. The biggest problem with this movie is, 1, the villain sucks, and 2, the turtles are so annoying. Oh man, the turtles got like stupider in this movie. They're a lot more child-friendly in this movie, and unfortunately, it's not as charming as Secret of the Ooze. The turtles are immature, they're always talking, they're always being stupid. They're pretty much like the Teen Titans Go Titans. They are that annoying. The adventure actually sounds cool on paper. The turtles time travel to feudal Japan and have to stop an evil villain conquering Japan in the past, and yeah, they kind of fumble the bag. They make it more comedic. It's a goofy adventure, not at all serious. And believe it or not, this plot actually got salvaged by the cartoons. Both the 2012 and yes, even the 2003 did the time travel to feudal Japan plot so much better. Why? Because they actually took it seriously where this one didn't. I had high hopes for BTTSS, and I particularly didn't mind their pupil eyes there, but maybe if they didn't make it so short or cared about the characters again. Here it comes. Even as a kid, I thought the third movie was pretty stupid. Yeah, it's a dumb movie. It is lame, it is bad, it's unfunny too, and the effects look at their cheapest in this movie. You can really tell the budget took a huge hit, and the Henson Company really dodged a bullet not signing up for this. Next one I remember watching around the time I was truly invested in 2000 TMNT. They even had the same voice actors for their first dub. Yeah, they did. Robbie Riss, the voice actor of Mikey, who played Brian Daly in Batman the Animated Series. Yeah, he was in Baby Doll as a parody of himself. And Choji from Naruto. Yeah, I was surprised he was in that too. And the alien in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. Yeah, Robbie Rist is a cool guy in real life. Yeah, he's made some questionable career choices, but the dude loves the fans, and he's definitely a fun persona, so I can forgive him for that. I still remember that scene where the villain falls into the ocean, but instead of a splashing effect, he just vanished. Yeah, cheap, low budget crap. I think one of the only positives people say about this movie is Casey Jones. Elias Koteas is actually funny, but Elias Koteas was good in the first movie, so of course he's the only actor that's good in this. Casey Jones basically has a B plot where he's showing past ninjas our modern day ways and acting as their sensei while he's babysitting them, because the turtles apparently like swap places and time with them. It's stupid, but Elias Koteas at least gets a chuckle here and there. He was definitely the only one trying to make this comedy funny, so he won points. Oh, and also April shows her legs, but it's followed by the cringe quote, "Show some leg, show wing." That's the kind of jokes you're in for, kids. Now, the versions on streaming have the Michael Bay movie voice actors, which are not bad, but the Bay movies, yeah, those suck. We'll be getting to those. Juan Hernandez, Angry Video Game Nerd, made an edit of that scene, which is much better than the original. Yeah, as I said, Angry Video Game Nerd, James Rolfe, actually did a pretty good review of this movie on why it sucked, and I recommend watching that instead of this movie, because this was a disappointment. Oh man, all these years later, it has not gotten better. It is equally as bad as Michael Bay's movies. It's unwatchably bad. It's stupid, it's slow, it's boring. They treat the audience like morons, and the plot is completely wasted. The turtles traveling back in feudal Japan can work because it worked on the cartoons, and it worked on a kick-ass video game. But here, they didn't take it seriously. It's just kiddie show garbage. Do not recommend. This is an easy skip. It's a shell-shockingly bad dud. But at least it led to the creation of the Turtles in Time video game. That is the only positive it had. Alright, sorry. Needed some water because we're in for a good one. TMNT, the CGI 2007 movie. Which, believe it or not, I'm putting on cowabunga. Yeah, do any of you remember this movie? I'm sure it's free on YouTube. It might not be now, but it was when I watched it. This is the sort of sequel to the original trilogy / sequel to the 2003 show. This one, honestly, pretty underrated. This is the animated CGI Ninja Turtles movie where James Arnold Taylor is Leonardo and Nolan North is Raphael. And Macau is Splinter, you know, the one that sounds like he smoked a whole bunch of marbles. Yeah, I actually really like this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Not better than the first movie, of course, but this one is really underrated. A kick-ass turtle adventure. I hated the anticlimactic defeat of Shredder. Are you talking about TMNT 2? Because, yeah, I did lost points for that. It's Star Trek time, baby. You need to revisit the Angry Video Game video after the live stream. It's hated, but it's my guilty pleasure. Oh, you like TMNT 3? Okay. There we go, my actual first TMNT movie ever watched. Surely great, I remember. 2007 was quite a big year for many movies, but this one kind of flew under my radar. Yeah, this one faded into obscurity pretty fast. It did not do well financially, but fans actually liked it a whole bunch. It was a very underrated TMNT movie. Its one problem is, it's not certain which continuity it's following. This one implies it's following up after the trilogy, but it also makes hints and references to the 2003 Turtles show. There was apparently a big breakup between the Turtles. Leonardo went on a sabbatical to find himself, and the Turtles have been handling crime in New York and have basically kind of given up. The Turtles now have jobs like ordinary people. Leonardo's gone missing. The family is broken. And the story is Leonardo returns back home to basically reshape the team, help guide them back on the straight arrow path, and fix their family. While they combat an evil family, Patrick Stewart plays what's his name? Mr. Winters. He's like this evil CEO. Patrick Stewart is the villain, and he's brought magical statues here who are like his family that were frozen in carbonite. He frees them to help them fulfill an ancient ritual, which will summon demons across their land. And the Turtles basically have to unite to stop Patrick Stewart's evil family in a head-on-head collision. And honestly, I actually thought it was pretty good. The story is pretty crazy, and there's a lot of plot to swallow, but overall, I think it's pretty fun. Yeah, also Captain America from the MCU played Casey Jones. That's right, Chris Evans is Casey Jones, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is April O'Neil. I wish she came back as April. She did pretty good, honestly. I have to say, this TMNT movie I didn't think was that bad as people say. I thought the story was different and unique, the cast was pretty solid, and I would have liked a continuation. Yeah, unfortunately the movie didn't earn enough money to get a sequel, even though they were clearly setting up the Shredder. Oh yeah, this also is the film debut of Karai, and yeah, I really love Karai. Shredder's daughter is pretty hot as fuck, really like her, and the voice actors really killed the role. Karai's in this movie and she's basically a mercenary. The Shredder is dead in this continuation, and Karai is the new leader of the Foot. She makes an alliance with Patrick Stewart to help locate the demons for the ritual. They have to open up like a portal in the sky, and there's several like mythical creatures here. I love Raphael fights the Jersey Devil. Blacksmith Orange would probably laugh at the Gremlin Jersey Devil. Yeah, Raphael, and Kevin Smith has like a cameo in this movie. It's pretty funny. The first two were awesome, but had a stupid anticlimactic defeat of Shredder. Yeah, his defeat was better in the first one. Mikey Kelly also played Spence on the Extreme Ghostbusters True Face of a Monster. Well, he was also Bill, the baseball programmer from the Cyber Chase. It implies the 2003 one, which was ending back then. Max Winters. Yeah, Maxwell Winters. That was his name. Thank you. The Immortality Seeker. Yeah, Patrick Stewart plays this ancient warrior who became a rich and powerful CEO. We find out in a twist, Patrick Stewart was actually a good guy. He was trapping the monsters to reopen the portal so it can take away their powers. His family were basically cursed with immortality. They became statues, he lived forever, and he's grown tired of living forever. He doesn't like outliving everyone and everything he's ever loved. He wants to give it all up and basically pass on and restore the natural order, but his siblings are all evil bastards. I thought the siblings were supposed to be kind of alternate versions of Shredder, especially based on the trailers. Like, 2 of them have like the Shredder claws and 3 of them have like his similar silver armor, but no, they're these evil stone barbarians. The leader played by Kevin Michael Richardson. Basically, the siblings actually like being immortal super soldiers and want to use the portal to take over the world. Of course. Also Batman, Bruce Wayne Young, and Batman Brave and the Bold, Ratchet and Ratchet and Clank. Okay, Mikey Kelly, yeah, he's pretty cool. Both movies had anticlimactic Shredder defeats. One punch in the garbage and the pier falls on Shredder because he's stupid. Yeah, I hated that one a bit more, but I do laugh at when Casey crushes him with the garbage dumpster. And the Leo versus Raph scene, brutal. Not always Mikey Kelly gotta play a good guy. The April O'Neil is your love interest, Cat? Well, personally, I prefer Renette, the Time Mistress. She is hot. I prefer, like, Renette or Karai. 80s April, definitely a 10 out of 10. But Sarah Michelle Gellar plays April. I'm very certain she's supposed to be the 2003 cartoon April. It's implied this movie is connected to the 2003 TMNT, which, don't get me wrong, really kick ass, but it did confuse a lot of audiences because exactly like the Clone Wars, you have to watch the show to get it, which understandably costed this a bit points among people. But I like 2003 Turtles, so I'm fine. The 90s April O'Neil. Yeah, she was actually very pretty too. Definitely not as hot as her 80s cartoon counterpart or even the 2003 counterpart, but I did think the girl who played April was really pretty in the main trilogy. Hey, Christopher, you're back. We're on TMNT 2007. If you don't remember, this is the CGI movie. I think it's free on YouTube, so I highly recommend watching it. This is definitely worth watching. It's a okay entry for some newbie fans, but as a hardcore Turtle fan, it is a cowabunga classic. Hey, cool show, you made it. And also, the redesigning of the BTTSS was all thanks to this movie, so also a small plus, though not a big. I take a mix of the usual styles, and this one, they ever decided to bring back the 2003 Turtles for something. I personally had a few ideas for a follow-up. Yeah, apparently the Shredder was supposed to come back in a sequel to this, but again, not enough money, so they canceled it. The 90s April O'Neil was the waifu of a lot of us. Was your waifu? I prefer Renette the Time Mistress or Karai the Shredder's daughter. Yeah, I have a thing for bad girls, if you can tell from my Catwoman crush. Also, Lawrence Fishburne was the narrator on TMNT 2007. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was actually in this movie. This was during that phase where he broke into serious roles. He was like in Morpheus, and Lawrence Fishburne is also in Transformers 1 as another narrator-esque character. Spoilers, Lawrence Fishburne is Alpha Trion in Transformers 1, and he's got one of those kick-ass voices, so the narration was pretty fun. That yellow jumpsuit. OMG, baby. Oh, you're gonna love where we go next with then. I hope to pick it up at my local pawn shop. Saw it on the Blu-ray shelves. I actually got this movie in like kind of like a duology DVD. I got TMNT with my copy of Batman vs. the Ninja Turtles. It had both the animated turtles, and since I loved both, I decided to, why not get it? And Zhang Zi played Karai, but why not Kelly Hu or Christina V if we get another TMNT movie? I can see Christina V as Karai, but Kelly Hu was not famous yet. She was just the hot chick in a lot of things, and she didn't quite break into voice acting yet. This came out in 2007. She started voice acting in Spectacular Spider-Man, which was 2008, 2009-ish, and she was still pretty new on that scene. But at least Kelly Hu made an awesome Karai later. But one big thing I want to praise about this is Nolan North, easily my favorite Raphael. I love Nolan North as the rude but cool turtle. Nolan North's Raphael is pretty much the real main character. Raphael and Leonardo finally butt heads over this. Raph's turtle temper gets in the way of Leonardo's new leadership. Leo gets a bit full of himself. He's trying to be the strong leader of the family, be the man of the house, be the moral compass guiding his bros, but Raphael is very sick to death of it, especially because he was the most pissed off about Leo leaving the family. And this has what fans consider one of the best fights between the brothers, Leo versus Raphael. Raphael had been going undercover as the Night Watcher, sort of a Punisher type of hero. He's basically dressed in like a metal kind of armor. He looks like a metal turtle, basically. Basically, the Night Watcher is this badass biker going around stopping crimes until Leonardo encounters him, and they both have a fight where he's unmasked as Raphael, and the two bros finally butt heads, and Raphael actually wins in the fight. Yeah, he doesn't kill Leonardo or wound him, but he basically downs his brother because his rage gave him strength. Raphael has a moment of weakness where he runs away, where Leonardo is captured by the evil Stone Soldiers. The Stone Soldiers basically use Leonardo because he's a mutant monster to trick their brother into thinking they have the final Pokemon for the portal magic. And basically, Leo gets captured. Raphael realizes how he actually cares about his brother. He apologizes to Master Splinter. Love Macau as Splinter. I know he sounds like he smoked a ton of marbles, but Macau is awesome. I really liked Fix-It. Yeah, Fix-It and Robots in Disguise. Nolan was indeed a great Raph. Cat, hope you're doing well. Thanks, cool show. I'm doing much better. Glad we got a smaller tier list this time. Leonardo, just like Goku to Raphael's Vegeta, if you will. Yeah, that definitely fits. James Arnold Taylor actually does a pretty good Leonardo voice. He's clearly copying Cam Clark's voice, but he does a pretty good job at it. Personally, Nolan North is my definitive Raphael, and that's why I praise him a bit more, because he's always the guy I hear when Raphael talks. Basically, Raphael apologizes to his family, and they launch a rescue to save Leonardo, where they storm Winter's tower, they topple the portal, they fight and defeat the Stone Generals, and Raphael and Leo make amends, and Winters reveals that he was actually a good guy and trying to fix everything with the portal magic, where his siblings die getting, I think, absorbed into hell. It's basically a giant hell portal, basically. They were summoning, like, more monsters out of it, but they reversed the portal. Casey and April actually bring the last monster in after a hilarious couple fight, and they defeat the monsters. All is good, and the turtles and Casey and April are all a family again. And Karai teases that the Shredder is still alive for a sequel that'll never happen. But hey, still a kick-ass movie. I really like this one. 2007 Turtles, I honestly watch a lot more than the first one, which is why I put it on Cowabunga. I admit it's not as good as the first one. It does have kind of a questionable direction and some weird continuity issues, but I think it's actually a good fun time. This is a fun time for Turtle fans everywhere. So of course, it's going on Cowabunga. John DiMaggio as Colonel Santiano. Yeah, he was more like Fidel Castro in that movie. So you're doing any more tier list, Cat, I need to know about? Don't have any plans so far. I do have to do the Nightmare on Elm Street saga. I'm trying to work something out with a buddy. That one's gonna be a crossover tier list. That one's coming sometime, like, in like 2 weeks or so. We're trying to work out a time, so forgive me, people. I know people want us to talk about Freddy, but we're planning it. This one will be the last for a while I work on actual videos. But yeah, TMNT 2007, underrated. I put it on Cowabunga. Speaking of the 2003 Turtles, we got to talk about the actual 2003 Turtles movie, Turtles Forever. Oh man, depending on who you ask, this is either one of the best or one of the worst Turtles movies ever. The 2003 Turtles cross over with the 80s Turtles, as they have to stop two Shredders from taking over the Turtleverse. This one, I'm not gonna lie, kind of a mixed bag. I love this one as a kitten, but as I grew older, I started to realize it's not as good as I remember, for one big reason. The 1980s Turtles are awful in this. I swear, whoever wrote this really hated the 80s Turtles with a passion, because the 80s Turtles are so annoying, so stupid, and so incompetent, and it feels like the movie is trying to shill how awesome, or how awesomer the 2003 Turtles are compared to them. Yeah, they did the 1987 Turtles so dirty. I enjoyed the movie all in all, but this was an issue. Yeah, whoever made this movie absolutely hated the 2000, or no, sorry, not the 2003. They loved the 2003 Turtles, but hated the 80s Turtles. The 80s Turtles are not at all like their normal selves, and I talked with a few of my friends how they felt about it. They also said the 2003 cast was also kind of done an injustice in this, namely because Karai comes back and she actually loves and saves her Shredder, even though in the show she hated him and turned against him in the finale. Which, yeah, that is bad continuity. The 2003 Turtles are also kind of out of character, but oh boy, the 80s Turtles got crapped all over, and it really hurt. I actually think I might put this one on meh. Yeah, my first controversial opinion, Turtles Forever is meh. It's a mixed bag, namely because the 80s Turtles suck, and sadly, you can't ignore it because they're all over this movie. It is the crossover of the 2003 and 80s Turtles, and the 80s Turtles are annoying, crying man-children who constantly need the 2003 Turtles to babysit them and call them out on their stupidity. And the 2003 cast also got kind of shafted at times. There's some bad continuity, like Karai comes crawling back to the Shredder, even though she disowned him in the finale, but whatever. And Hun is also completely stupid in this. Hun is getting beat up by the wimpified 80s Turtles. Like, wow. Hun was one of the most badass henchmen ever, and he's getting beat up by the goofball Teen Titans Go Turtles. Sigh. They just did not care anymore. Turtles Forever is pretty divisive for fans. While I did like parts, there are some things I didn't. Me did not like how the 87 Turtles are treated, and there are some continuity issues with the 03 cast too. Casey and April are barely in this movie. There is one thing I do love. It's when they're trying to stop the Shredder from destroying the Turtleverse. Surprise, the 80s Shredder is a total wussy boy next to the 2003 Utrom Shredder. Krell is going to the center of the Turtleverse, which is actually the comic book. Yes, they reference the old school Sin City style Ninja Turtles comic book, where we see the classic black and white comic Ninja Turtles make a cameo, helping them defeat the Krell Utrom Shredder. He's at the center of the Turtleverse to obliterate the Turtle franchise. That is actually the plot of this movie. The Shredder wants to eliminate the Ninja Turtles across the multiverse, which sounds really cool, but again, the 80s Turtles are annoying. They are an anchor dragging this movie down, and I really hated them. The worst scene is when the Utrom Shredder starts destroying multiverses, the 80s Turtles break down and cry and hug Mikey to protect them. Yeah, the 80s Turtles break down and cry when the multiverse is starting to fall. It's like, okay, they did not understand how awesome they were in the original cartoon. Even the 2012 did this better on both crossover moments. Yeah, I agree. 2012 even brought the comic Turtles there too, and they were actually pretty cool because of how silent and serious they were. Yeah, you enjoyed the movie, but the 87 Turtles were done dirty. Also, they did the crossover again on the 2012 Turtles. Yeah, the 2012 show did this crossover way better. Namely because the 80s Turtles weren't useless morons and actually had the original cast revoice them. Veronica Taylor was April. She was also Ash on Pokemon, Sailor Pluto, and yeah, from Sailor Moon. Scarlet from Sigma 6. Did not like Sigma 6. And Manuela Casagrande from Fire Emblem Three House. Never played a Fire Emblem game. Yeah, they just didn't care anymore. Spoilers, they did not get the 80s cast to return as the Turtles. Dan Green is actually 80s Raphael, and I cannot unhear Yugi Moto whenever Raphael talked. It's very weird. Dan Green's a good voice actor, but his Raphael was terrible. He's just doing Yami Yugi. I'd love to see more of that. I wish this movie was a bit stronger. It had its good moments, but it had a lot of stupid moments. The Erasing World situation. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Beast Wars idea all over again, with Shredder's idea. Yeah. 2012 should have had a movie. They definitely should have. I think they counted the Mad Max story as their movie, but I did not think it was a very good finale. The Bebop and Rocksteady movie was much better. Neither could I. Yeah, the 80s cast did not reprise their role as the 80s Turtles. They actually got the 80s cast for the 2012 crossover, which showed you they can still do the Turtles justice. But here they got a bunch of 4Kids actors to do very god-awful impressions of the 80s cast. Dan Green as Raphael did not work for me. I couldn't unhear Yugi. But yeah, basically, the Turtles fight Shredder. The guy playing the 80s Shredder actually does a pretty good Uncle Phil impression. However, the problem is he's also an incompetent idiot who gets dethroned by Krell, the Utrom Shredder. As soon as they bring his 2003 Shredderverse version, that Shredder takes over as the real villain and dethrones both Shredder and Krang completely, and they become bumbling idiots who are basically kind of held hostage by Utrom Shredder. They're like screwing around in the background, nobody takes them seriously, and they try to one-up him by showing how much cooler the 2003 Krell Shredder is because he hijacks his 80s tech and actually makes it threatening. Which is BS because he was actually threatening in the 80s cartoon, but whatever. So, Shredder and Krang, the 80s versions, turn good and turn against Krell. Utrom Shredder is destroying the Turtleverse, and the day is saved by Bebop and Rocksteady, who accidentally kill Krell. And not gonna lie, that was actually pretty funny because Bebop and Rocksteady are actual morons in the 80s show. Highly recommend checking out C.J. DeCamp's trilogy of the Shredder trials. Hearing that they couldn't get the original 80s voice actors kind of upsets me, but then again, that film really plays favorites. Yeah, 2003 Shredder, he is the GOAT, but Krell is a lot more stupider in this show. Namely, why doesn't he kill 80s Shredder and Krang? He, keeps them around and alive for no reason. Yeah, Mark Thompson was Cobra Commander and Destro, Zartan, and Kamakura, Spirit in G.I. Joe Sigma 6. He was also Megatron in Cyberverse. Loved him in that. Yeah, 2003 Shredder. He wants to become a god. The Giggle Ray bit was solo cringe. Yeah, Shredder wants to build a Giggle Ray to kill them at the end. It's compared to the 2003 Shredder who nearly destroyed the multiverse, this is just another spit in the face on 80s fans. Yeah, so basically, I guess the 80s Turtles and 2000s Turtles became best friends at the end because they both say turtle power to each other, and they saved the multiverse. Bebop and Rocksteady actually saved the day, which I'll admit is actually pretty funny. That 1 point from me, because Bebop and Rocksteady are that stupid. They accidentally kill Krell, so all you fans of Utrom Shredder, remember this, he was punk killed by Bebop and Rocksteady, so also disservice there. So yeah, they save the day, the 80s versions all go back to their Turtleverse, and they restore all life as we know it, with the 80s Turtles and 2000s Turtles gaining a newfound respect for each other, even though the 80s Turtles were completely useless in their own crossover. Yeah, this one has not aged very well, and if you loved the 80s Turtles, they will shit all over them. And the 2003 cartoon also got some kind of disservice through this too, namely the continuity issues as I mentioned. It has a lot of love for TMNT lore, but also a lot of mean-spirited parody, which held it back for me, so I'm putting this crossover on meh. Thankfully, we have a good crossover coming up. In the 2003 series, the Shredder was so awesome, and they fused Krang and Shredder. Yeah, I actually grew to like that Shredder and Krang are the same character in the 2000s Turtles show. That's actually a pretty interesting idea. If the 2003 universe made a return, would you prefer a comic book follow-up anime series or a special with the cast talking about it? I would actually like an anime 2003 Turtle movie. That actually sounds pretty awesome. My only exposure to the 80s Turtles was a couple of VHS tapes. I actually finally watched the 80s Turtles, and man, they were so much better than when I saw them on Turtles Forever. Namely, okay, so the 80s Turtles are kind of like Adam West Batman to the 03 Batman the Animated Series' Ninja Turtles. Yeah, 80s Turtles are like Adam West Batman. The 2000s Turtles, I would say, are like Kevin Conroy's Batman. They're both good, they both have their own strengths and weaknesses. However, those Batman also had respect for each other, whereas this, it's clear they had a lot of favoritism towards the 2000s. Also, Christina was to voice Karai. Do you think she'd go Marinette or Veronica for her role? I think she might go Veronica. I could see her using Marinette's voice if she played innocent and cutesy. I agree, an anime take. Maybe Trigger or Madhouse. Those would be cool. How was the most OG villain in 80s or in the 90s series of the Ninja Turtles? Okay, so Shredder and Krang were played for laughs. I would actually say Krang was a lot more of the serious one, whereas Shredder was the overconfident Starscream. They kind of had a Megatron Starscream kind of relationship. Shredder was the Starscream to Krang's Megatron. Shredder was actually threatening, did have intelligent plans, and came very close to killing people. Shredder and Krang, they did have a lot of goofy moments. I would say more on par with the Cobra Commander, where People like disrespect them, they do crack jokes. However, a lot of their plans included mass murder and conquering planets, so they were actually menacing. They were typical 80s cartoon villains, had an equal amount of jokey and funny moments, but also had their menace and threats played dead seriously. Oh yeah, Uncle Phil was also the Shredder. And honestly, he did a pretty good job. Uncle Phil Shredder was so iconic that the 2012 Shredder was sort of based on him, with Kevin Michael Richardson trying to emulate that kind of persona he had on the 80s show. What a swinger. Poor Venus. Sorry, just catching up on comments. Remember the awful show that had the female Ninja Turtle? Yeah, Venus de Milo. The show that was so bad that the creators banned Venus from ever reappearing in the franchise. Not against a female turtle, but they did not really make a good sell of that character. Yeah, and the 80s TMNT cartoon has like 10 seasons and about over 100 episodes. Yeah, try 300, Shadowlink. It was back in the 80s where cartoons had 60 episode seasons. So yeah, TMNT got a lot of love back then. Rigel is currently maybe retired from voice acting and acting more on voice casting and direction. I love Sam Riegel as Donatello. He is my all-time favorite Donnie. Sam Riegel was also pretty cool as Starscream on the Cybertron games. A bit sad he's retired from voice acting, but hey, that's his choice. Which is a shame because his Donnie was my favorite. Yeah, I totally agree. What a swinger. Like weird that Ash Ketchum, Goku, and Yugi Muto actors were in Turtles Forever. Yeah, they were 4 kids. Well, 4 kids voice actors. They did a lot of English dubs, but they also did their own original content like the Ninja Turtles. They argued like a married couple. Okay, so TMNT got a miraculous actor. Venus is not a bad character. No, Ira, Venus is just boring. She was a bore. She was the token girl, and that's why she didn't sell well for fans. Venus was just generic, and they did not take advantage of her and the concept of her being a magic wielder turtle. And the creators did not like her so much that they banned her from reappearing. But at least we got Mona Lisa from the 2012 cartoon. They did talk about bringing her back, reinventing her in the comics. Yeah, they probably might do that. I can definitely see them bringing Venus back, especially because the Turtle creators are kind of retired now, so that ban might be lifted. No idea how they'll do it, but I wouldn't be against it. Top 5 or 3 villains in TMNT and the good guys, please.
That's not a mic, by the way. They actually did bring Venus back in the comics.
Oh, they did bring Venus back.
Okay,
Wolf confirmed that they did bring Venus de Milo back in comics. Yeah. Not in show form, though. Remember when Raphael wanted to save the Fox box just to watch Kirby? Yeah, that was crazy 4Kids times. Okay, somebody wanted my top 5 or 3 villains. I like Shredder, I like Karai, I like Krang. But what was his name? I'm trying to remember. Some of these turtle characters are obscure. I did like Tiger Claw from the 2012 show. So, yeah, Shredder, Karai, Krang, Tiger Claw. The 5th one. There was definitely an alien character I liked, too. I'm trying to remember his name. I think it was Lord Dreg. Yeah, Lord Dreg, who reappeared on the 2012 show, was actually cool and creepy. Yeah, I might have to go with that. Yeah, Lord Dreg, Shredder, Karai, and Krang, and yeah, you got it. And my top 5 turtle good guys. Well, my favorite turtle is Donatello, so he's number 1. Number 2 would be Leo. Number 3, Master Splinter. Number 4, I like Renette the Time Mistress. And number 5, I like the Fugitoid. The Fugitoid was awesome. Love that they got Doctor Who to play him on the 2012 show. Fugitoid and Renette are both underrated, abstract turtle allies. Really love them. Yeah, Lord Dreg. Lord Dreg was the final boss of the 80s cartoon, and he made a surprise comeback in the 2012 show during the In Space seasons. I believe they got Peter Stormare to voice him, and Peter Stormare is pretty awesome. Loved him as Satan on Constantine, so of course he was really creepy as Lord Dreg. I hate it when a hated character is given no effort to improve, except Jar Jar, Scrappy, others, etc. Oh, examples, Jar Jar, Scrappy, etc. I think Jar Jar got better in the Clone Wars show. Still waiting for Last Ronin, Mikey. Yeah, Last Ronin. I heard that's getting a movie too, so we might be doing another ranking on this series if the Last Ronin movie does come to fruition. Really looking forward to that. I love him so much. Fugitoid was the best. Yeah, Fugitoid was awesome in the 03 show, and the 2012 show made him even cooler by getting David Tennant as him. Yeah, the Fugitoid was like turned into a Cyberman for the 2012 show. Really liked him. Master Roshi versus Splinter versus Miyagi. I think Splinter would win. Nostalgia critic hated Scrappy. Yeah, he hated Scrappy. I mean, a lot of people hate Scrappy. Alright, so, yeah, Turtles Forever, it's a meh for me, mostly because it's mean-spirited towards the 80s Turtles. Alright, so, now we're getting ready for the classics. You know, I might do something different. I need to use the restroom, but you guys vote for which you want to see next. However, I am going to disqualify Batman vs. TMNT because I actually think we might end on this one, but pick of the other four here. Please cast your vote. I'll be right back. Catabunga, turtle dudes and dudettes. Cat is back. Alright, you gotta check what you voted for. Let's get it over with. No one's willing to give Scrappy a chance if he improves, which is BS. Don't worry, Ira Sutton. Scrappy is cool in the Boo Brothers and Ghoul School movies. And Reluctant Werewolf. Yeah, the Scrappy trilogy is awesome, and I actually liked him more in that. The Hold Before the Storm. Rise movie first, please. You want Rise. Mutant Mayhem with Jackie Chan. Alright, a lot of people want to stop delaying the inevitable. Alright, we'll go in order, so let's talk about Michael Bay's TMNT, which, surprise, going on F. It's bad. Michael Bay couldn't even deliver a good Transformers movie. Did anyone have hope that he would do justice for the Ninja Turtles? This is bad for one big reason. It's the Megan Fox movie co-starring the Ninja Turtles. And yes, a lot more focus is on Megan Fox as April O'Neil, while the Turtles are side characters in her movie. And the plot is not much better. It's bad, people. It sucks. Michael Bay's love for bad CGI is all over this movie. There's a lot of juvenile humor, a lot of stupid moments. It makes allusions and references to past TMNT stuff, but badly botches them for this film. This is the one that had two Shredders in it. There's Eric Ballsacks, who was supposed to be the Shredder, but people didn't like that because he wasn't Asian, so he hired a random merc who's hidden in the shadows to act as the Shredder, or the real Shredder. Oh, and the Shredder is also a Decepticon in this. Yeah, it sucks. I've never seen the Michael Bay movies. I did not watch this in theaters. I waited for it to appear on TV because I was not going to pay $20 to suffer another piece of Michael Bay crap. Yeah, best Splinter, please. Best Splinter, please. How teach better lessons. Remember when Donatello has a crush on April? Oh, yeah, the 2012 show. We don't talk about that romance arc. The bully from Max Keeble's big movie is Mikey. That's right. They actually got famous celebrities to play the turtles. I don't know why, because you can't tell it's them because they're in garbage CGI suits for out all of it. The turtle designs are the worst in this. They look like kind of like deformed Shrek, but with ninja gear. Yeah, these are the Shrek turtles. The big, hulking, CGI-looking ghetto turtles, and they do not look good. They do not even look real. I know some people praise Michael Bay's CGI as looking good, but they just look ugly, man. They look bad in this. They looked way too big. Their faces are like stretched out kind of Shrek. They look like they were rejects from a DreamWorks movie. And the turtles are not really characterized well in the first movie. They got better in the second movie, but here, they're just as bland as Michael Bay's Transformers. It's once again a movie focusing more on the human characters, while all the supernatural and larger-than-life kick-ass characters are the sidekicks to them. I did like BoJack Horseman as Vernon, or Vern. Yeah, Will Arnett is actually the funniest character in this movie. I wish it was more about him than Megan Fox, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, BoJack Horseman and April are both reporters, and it's basically exposing the Ninja Turtles. Megan Fox has a lead on the Turtles and the Foot Clan having their underground war, and basically the Turtles are coming out of the shadows in this movie to save New York. And I ship Mikey times Shinigami. Yeah, they were definitely cute together. Shinigami's the ninja witch. Yeah, she was actually pretty cool. Wish we got more of her. Also, I remember Jeremy Howard was Philip in Mighty Med. The guy that was in the Sci-Fi Channel original series Blood Drive plays Raphael. Oh, that explains why I don't know him. I actually like the romance arc between Donnie and April. Oh, you're the first one I've ever heard actually say that. Nothing against it. I thought it could work, but as soon as Casey Jones entered the picture, I kind of got the idea that they were setting up Donnie for a fail. Went from fearing Frog to becoming a turtle. Oh, you all remember the rumors that the turtles were originally going to be aliens in this movie? Until they walked it back and made them mutants again. Yeah, I remember how everyone was scared of that, and pretty much nobody had hope for this movie because, one, it's Michael Bay, and two, it was clearly written by people who did not understand the Ninja Turtles and why they were cool and fun, because way too much focus is on Megan Fox, and once more, Megan Fox is not a good actress. She did not give a crap in this movie. My friend Emily actually likes Megan Fox. She did defend that Fox was good in Jennifer's Body, so Megan Fox clearly shows her talent when it's a project she cares about. Unfortunately, this was not a project she cared about, so Megan Fox is completely wooden and lifeless in this, just as much as she was in the Bayformers movies. Not saying Bay should abandon filmmaking, but someone should tell him nobody likes his crazy explosion takes on characters. Yeah, Michael Bay is much better at his original ideas than he is at franchises. I do like his Bad Boys movies. Michael Bay is actually good at Bad Boys because, one, it's his own creation, and two, he's not trying to study another franchise and do justice for the fan base for it. He's just doing his own thing in the Bad Boys movies with Will Smith and, what was it, the other guy, like Martin Lawrence or something? Yeah, basically the two black cops. Those movies are actually Michael Bay at his best. Ninja Turtles and Transformers are him at his worst. I remember how Phalis talked about the Turtles' design in his review of Bay's TMNT movie. Not just saying they suck, but how they're not as good as the first movie and the struggles they face. Yeah, because the Turtles are all CGI. They are not really there. They are technically guys in mocap suits, but The Muppet Turtles look so much better because they were actually physically there and actually looked like turtle mutants. Here, they do not look good. They look like monsters in this movie. I was very enraged back then, but now older and maybe with a changed view on relationships, I think their romance needed something. Yeah, definitely. The turtle romances in the 2012 show I actually thought were pretty okay. Donnie and April together is still controversial to this very day. Some people like them, some people are weirded out by them. I do think it does have the elephant in the room where, I mean, she's trying to have a romance with a turtle. It's an animal that's transformed into something that was part human. Not trying to judge, but there is kind of a question marks there. Jim Henson's work in the puppetry of the Turtles and Mr. Splinter. Yeah, it was awesome. The puppet work behind those turtles was awesome. Michael Bay's turtles just looked too fake. Yeah, Jennifer's body was way better. Yeah, Megan Fox can actually be good in something she cares about. It's obvious she did not care about this movie. Not enraged, engaged. Okay. I prefer Christina V as April O'Neil better than Megan Fox. I was invested in the idea. Okay. So, if you don't know, the basic villain plot in this is the Shredder is kind of ripping off the Amazing Spider-Man. Basically, Eric Sachs and the Shredder have mutagen, and they want to release a poison storm cloud over New York, transforming everyone into a mutant. Yes, they are ripping off the Lizard's plot from The Amazing Spider-Man. Basically, they want to infect everyone with mutagen, and Eric Sachs will profit off of a cure he will administer to people, because they will pay him billions just to revert back. And the Turtles, of course, have to stop him and uncover the story about their past and yada yada yada, watered down version of the first movie they try to make epic, but it's not very good. Way too much focus on Megan Fox to the point where April is actually the kid who owned the Ninja Turtles in this movie. Yeah, she brought the turtles from the pet shop, and during a freak accident at the TCRI laboratory, she saved her turtles by dumping them down the sewer. Yeah, good pet owner there. And of course, the chemical waste fell on them, and the turtles turned into mutants. Tony Shalhoub might be my least favorite Splinter. Like, his voice is way too soft and way too friendly. I can't help but thinking Mr. Monk as a ninjutsu master. I would say Tony Shalhoub is the worst Splinter, but then I remember Rise of the TMNT as a show where that Splinter was just Homer Simpson. But yeah, Tony Shalhoub, definitely one of the worst Splinters we've ever had. Splinter and the Turtles live down there, and as you can see from Angry Video Game Nerd and Nostalgia Critic's review, they learn ninjutsu by studying a bunch of picture books on how to do martial arts. Yeah, they removed Hamato Yoshi from the franchise, and they studied like these art books that show how to do basic ninja moves, and they mastered their skills off of that. Sounds like a Lex Luthor plot. Yeah, it really was. The best Splinter, the 2012 Splinter. I really liked that guy. He is the best characterized Master Splinter because they actually delved into his story. They gave him a surprise twist I don't want to spoil. He's related to one of the characters. He's related to one of the characters, and the Turtles basically help him regain his humanity. I love 2012 Splinter the most. That is my number one. Talk about copying somebody else's homework, but with the Bay wrist twist. Yeah, bad. Why fandoms always have these sort of problems? Okay, sorry, catching up on comments. But the problematics of both the show's writing now and then, and the nagging Nancys that kept hating on the ships and theories made it hard to stick with hard to stick with your ships. Okay. Fandom always hates these sort of things. Yeah, it is pretty much a ripoff of The Amazing Spider-Man. Eric Sachs was supposed to be the Shredder, but fans complained about that because the Shredder is supposed to be an Asian guy named Oroku Saki. So Oroku Saki is kind of there as a background character. The Shredder is Eric Sachs's bodyguard slash henchman, and the guy playing him does not feel very intimidating or memorable. They try way too hard to make him like a scary edgelord, and One of the most infamous decisions of this movie is the Shredder is basically a Decepticon. They turned him into a CGI kind of Transformer suit. The Shredder suit is like this huge mecha. He has like ninja stars and tech infused into him. Does not look good. It does not look good. So basically, the Turtles and April O'Neil work together where the Turtles care about humanity and rise up as the heroes. They foil the scheme because Donatello, who does machines, somehow mastered a cure in time to put on their giant mutagen bomb they're putting on the tower. They foil the Shredder's schemes, and Megan Fox is the one who defeats the Shredder with the final punch. Yeah, all this stuff about the Turtles, and Megan Fox is the one who takes down the Shredder. She kicks him in the face off a ledge, and he falls to his death. Not really death, he survives, but it should have killed him. And the Turtles cure New York, the day is saved, and they become mysterious heroes, and April gets her job as a reporter, who's going to do what 80s April does, report on the Turtles and their heroics. And all's well that ends well, and we lead into another terrible sequel. Yeah, this movie sucks. Of course it sucks. It's not even as good as Michael Bay's first Transformers movie. Michael Bay could not do the Transformers right. Did you have any hope that he'd do the Ninja Turtles justice? It's mostly Megan Fox's movie, and because Megan Fox can't act, it's very boring and slow. Between the Silver Samurai from the Wolverine or this version of Shredder design, which do you prefer? They're both bad, but I'll have to go the Silver Samurai from the Wolverine. He looked better because his CGI actually looked realistic. Here, the Bayverse Shredder did not look good. Also, 90s April makes cameo in this film with Megan Fox. Oh, that's right. Her voice actress, I believe, had a cameo. This would have been pretty cool, but she's unfortunately in a bad movie. 80s April had a lot better. Sorry, trying to find the words. 80s April had a better appearance in the 2012 show where she was April's mother, and it was a sort of a cute passing of the torch story before it revealed what April's mom really was, but I liked her there in the 2012 show. The 2012 show is so much better. Recommend that over Bay's movie. But yeah, all these years later, it is still a turtle turd. Alright, so thankfully we're on the last Michael Bay movie, TMNT Out of the Shadows. And yeah, it still sucks, but it is going above TMNT 3 in the first one. Out of the Shadows, definitely a step in the right direction, but not a very far step. This one still had the same problems as the first. It's still juvenile, it's stupid, the CGI is very fake looking, Michael Bay's love of explosions all over this movie. However, it actually did try to be like the cartoons, and that's why fans love and defend it. The highlight of this movie is they give a rock version of the TMNT theme. I loved hearing the 80s TMNT theme replayed in the end credits of this movie. That is the best part. However, considering that my highlight is the end credits, that should tell you how good the rest of this movie is. We finally meet Krang, played by Everybody Hates Raymond's brother, Brad Garrett. Yeah, he does a very weird Krang voice in this, I'm just saying. Nolan North and Gilbert Gottfried were way better Krangs. Yeah, Krang is planning to invade the Earth, where he breaks the Shredder out of prison, and agree to work together to take over the world. Meanwhile, the Turtles undergo an identity crisis, similar to The Secret of the Ooze, so yeah, Michael Bay is basically rehashing a better Turtle story. Tried being the word, but not tried enough. Yeah, that is pretty much the problem. This also introduces Bebop and Rocksteady, played by Gary Anthony Williams and Sheamus, the WWE wrestler. They were actually good choices, but their acting and writing definitely did not display that. Bebop and Rocksteady are two basically fellow prisoners being transported with the Shredder. Stephen Amell is Casey Jones, and he might be easily the worst Casey Jones we ever had because he doesn't act like Casey Jones. He acts more like Stephen Amell, and Dick Grayson from Batman and Robin. Casey Jones is like transporting the Shredder, Bebop and Rocksteady. Krang breaks them out, and basically the Shredder turns Bebop and Rocksteady into the iconic Mutant Rhino and Warthog, and oh boy, are they annoying in this movie. If you thought the Turtles were annoying in the time travel movie, Bebop and Rocksteady are so obnoxiously annoying and unlikable and unfunny in this. Like, as soon as they're mutated, they take a look at their dicks and basically act like obnoxious frat bros. Like, my man! Hey, Rocksteady, be real. Am I fat? Oh no, bro. You're like super mega fat. Hey, I got a big bang for you. Yeah, it's bad. Bad. Oh, Bebop and Rocksteady killed the mood every time they showed up on screen. Pro wrestler Sheamus plays Rocksteady. Yeah, I was actually looking forward to seeing Sheamus as Rocksteady, but he's annoying, man. He is so obnoxiously annoying and unlikable, and not in a fun way like the 80s cartoon. I love the Bay Turtles, to be honest, but I get the dislike. Ah, Jon Snow, you liked that? Oh, I'm ashamed to call you my friend now. Nah, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Jon Snow. You're fine. So Michael Bay's Karai actress becomes Tomeo Seguri from Miraculous. Karai is in these movies, and basically she's an in-name only character. If you're hoping that she's gonna get a good character arc or, you know, something, she doesn't. She's just a named minion. She's a glorified cameo, just like how Wheeljack was in Dark of the Moon. You recognize the name of the character, but they don't act like the character. Oh, and Karai gets beat up by April O'Neil and Vern. Which, yeah, total pathetic ninja girl right there. Yeah, Sheamus plays Rocksteady, and he's not funny. He is annoying. Oh, right, Stephen Amell was Casey in this. Well, thank God he went into better things. Yeah, Stephen Amell made it big on Arrow, and I actually thought he could have been awesome as Casey Jones, but no, they made him a whiny loser. Someday I'm gonna be a detective, and you'll all respect me. Ah, what did you do to Green Arrow? Man, they made Stephen Amell such a loser. BoJack Horseman was funnier than him. Yeah, Gary Anthony Williams, he plays Bebop, and he was in a lot of great stuff before that. Beavis and Butthead, good Beavis and Butthead impression, yeah, thanks. That's who Bebop and Rocksteady are. They're just unlikable Beavis and Butthead. We're gonna crush those turtles. We're good at breaking stuff. Yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady did not like them. They have a cool action scene, but that's because they're not talking in that action scene, which made them more tolerable. Basically, once again, like Secret of the Ooze, we explore the mutagen. Krang invented the mutagen, and he's using it to basically construct an army for the Krang Empire to invade. They need to bring the Technodrome into this world. However, this movie is a MacGuffin hunt. Yeah, exactly like The Rise of Skywalker. They're finding a whole bunch of puzzle pieces to put together, and this puzzle piece is going to unlock the Technodrome, which will form into like a Death Star hovering above the Earth, and yeah, it is pretty lame, honestly. It's the lame, like, scavenger hunt movie. So, the Turtles basically undergo an identity crisis, sort of. They have the mutagen themselves, and they find out it can transform them back into human, and this really should have been the plot of the movie. The Turtles becoming normal humans, and questioning if they want to be superheroes, because that is actually an interesting plot point. However, the movie does not take full advantage of it. It's the basic, do we want to be normal, or are we actually better as special superheroes? That kind of spiel. Like Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer did this exact same plot point better. I like the idea of Bebop and Rocksteady acting like gangsters, but they needed to dial it down more. Yeah, they were more childish than Toka and Roz are in this movie. Yeah, Stephen Amell was Green Arrow in Arrow and Injustice and in Lego Batman 3. Between Bebop and Rocksteady, compared to the two bullies from Werewolf Skin, which would you prefer? Oh, the idiot bullies from Werewolf Skin. They actually had funny moments. Also, Karai's actress got replaced. Yeah, they really didn't care. Karai got totally shafted in these movies. They could have just made her a generic hench girl and it would have felt the same. So, as I said, the turtles do a MacGuffin hunt. They eventually fight Krang, and to their credit, Krang doesn't look half bad in this. The robot suit looks very weird. They did not fully embrace the 80s one that they had in the trailer. Instead, he looks like a basic giant mecha. Krang in his giant mech suit comes down, has a big epic fight with the turtles, and it does look a lot better than their fight with Shredder in the first movie. I'll concede to that, but April O'Neil and Casey Jones also defeat Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm 100% certain they're dead. They get like blown up in a crate or something. Casey Jones like fulfills his arc of becoming a hero, which really messy and totally not deserved. Once again, Will Arnett as Vernon was the best character in this. They defeat them, they reverse the Technodrome before it's fully formed, and the Turtles realize that they like being superheroes. They beat up Krang, and that's right, Shredder is actually put on ice in this movie. Like, all this build-up for Shredder having a rematch for the Turtles and giving him a much better Shredder suit, and what happens? Krang betrays him and Flash freezes him to put in his trophy room with the rest of his toys. Yeah, Shredder is stored in cryo storage to be wasted on a third film, which will never happen. Krang and Shredder get absorbed back to Dimension X, just like in the 80s cartoon, and the Turtles are heroes, but they decide to stay in the shadows as secret ninja superheroes, because the Turtles actually like being mutant heroes and don't need to be normal to have a family. Yeah, this movie blows. It sucks. They tried a lot more than the first film, I'll give them that, but still not good. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Tyler Perry is Baxter Stockman, and also bad casting right there, just as bad as Megan Fox's April. Tyler Perry is Baxter Stockman. They should have got Phil Lamar. Sorry, just reading some comments. But let's get real. Michael Bay murdered TMNT. Yeah, this movie actually did bomb because nobody liked the first movie, but it made money for a sequel and did not do as well, and Michael Bay is never getting a third Ninja Turtles movie. Thank goodness. Wait, we talk about John Cena as Rocksteady? John Cena could have been good as Rocksteady. Sheamus, I thought was a good choice, but the way they portrayed Rocksteady in the movie, not a fan of. Season 2 of the 2012 TMNT did that being human thing better in that one episode, deciding if they want to make Splinter human again. Yeah, it worked better on a show than it did in a feature film. The Idiot Bullies have returned, kind of chuckling from watching almost all of your Goosebumps videos, man. Yeah, thanks, Juan. Glad you like it. The Shredder is way better in the 2003 show because they actually made him a menace. Yeah, this Shredder is a joke. It's very clear Michael Bay did not like the Shredder because he's constantly giving screen time to other villains. Channel Awesome should make a fanscription of TMNT. Yeah, they probably should. It would be much better. Out of the Shadows, the best part is literally the end credits where they play the classic theme in a rock ballad, but yeah, the movie as a whole, it sucks. It's just as bad as the first, but it won some points for trying as hard, but as you can see, still F tier. Out of the Shadows should have stayed in the shadows. Alright, so I want to save Batman vs. TMNT for last to end this on a positive note, because I actually really like this movie. But we'll talk about the rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. And this one's going into totally awesome. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rise of the TMNT actually had a good finale movie. Now, I do not think it is a cowabunga classic. I know that will disappoint a lot of people because this movie had some solid gold material in this. I actually agree, it is a pretty awesome movie. A bit flawed because it's technically acting as a series finale for a very bad show. Yeah, I suppose I should mention this. I am not a fan of the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. It's very Teen Titans Go-esque, and I was not a fan of that hyperactive lol random XD humor that a lot of cartoons were doing back then. However, the movie completely turned around and actually made plot points of the show better on the film. I honestly never saw the rise of the TMNT series or movie. Honestly, the TV series, it's bad. It's like another Teen Titans Go-esque series where it's comedic but does have serious stories going on. I guess more like Harley Quinn show, but for kids. The TV series sucks. It's not funny, it's very hyperactive, and more juvenile than Michael Bay's movies. However, they actually got a finale movie because the show was abruptly cancelled, but the creators managed to convince Nick to give them a final farewell for the show fans. And wow, the movie actually pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's not one of the best Turtles movies, but it is totally awesome. Told ya it was pretty awesome. No, Yara, totally awesome. Of course, dude, I love Goosebumps and been having a nostalgia trip with the series. That's how I've discovered your channel. Oh, thanks, Juan. Glad you're a fan. But why TMNT 2012 made April a kid, then a news reporter? I believe it was because they wanted to ship 2012 April with Donnie, and it'd be kinda creepy to ship an adult woman with a teenager, so they were both kind of in the same age range to make it less creepy and more compatible. They also made Casey Jones a female. Yeah, Cassandra Jones. They actually fixed that in this movie. Casey Jones is the son of Cassandra Jones. He comes from the future. Yeah, they actually got Guy Casey Jones, which, huge apology, greatly appreciated from the show because he's actually pretty cool in this. Also, April O'Neil was Kat Graham, who was Allison in Hannah Montana. Never watched Hannah Montana, I'm not a fan. The Rise show became less Teen Titans Go after the first half and second seasons, but it still had some flaws. Yeah, I do not like Rise of the TMNT Splinter. I call him Homer Simpson Splinter because Master Splinter became a fat, stupid idiot who's always lazy and watching TV, and Eric Bauza did not have any of the wisdom that the past Splinters had. Yeah, Rise of Mutant Ninja Turtles is better than Teen Titans Go for me, but that doesn't shake off the fact that it has the Teen Titans Go style to it. One interesting change of dynamics was having Raph as the initial leader. I love the Harley Quinn show. I think it's better than the Teen Titans Go, and TMNT, Rise of the TMNT. I know it's weird, but it has decent humor. It does, but it also has juvenile humor. I'm not the fan of the show either, mostly because they ruined my rebellious badass boy, Raphael. How could they make him the leader? Yeah, they did make Raphael the responsible leader, and Leonardo is instead the immature party dude, who basically needs to grow into an adult. So, Rise of the TMNT addresses the biggest problem people had with the TV show. Leonardo is a complete failure and a loser who isn't mature and isn't capable of being a leader for the Turtles. Leonardo is actually an arrogant, smug, narcissist know-it-all. He's overconfident in his abilities. He doesn't take anything seriously, and he's completely dismissive of Raphael as their leader. He's basically more interested in goofing off, being himself, showing off how cool he is, and it finally addresses that Leonardo needs to become the Leo we know and love. He needs to become the badass leader. He needs to grow up, essentially. And this adventure actually forces him to do just that. Well, that sounds like a step down with the Splinter after arguably the best Splinter of 2012 series. Yeah, fully agree, Shadowlink. Rise has easily the worst Splinter. It's Homer Simpson as Master Splinter, we'll just put it that way. I like the Harley Quinn show for that particular universe. This meta-language writing works. Yeah, it works at times, but sometimes it doesn't. My least favorite Harley Quinn episode is A Seat at the Table. My least favorite one is where Catwoman delivers a Black Lives Matter speech, even though her character was never originally black. That one was very cringy, and I did not agree with the message at all. Anyways, back to Rise. Basically, the Krang have taken over the Earth in the future. The movie finally introduces us to General Krang, and Krang is ultra creepy in this movie. Krang is kind of a Lovecraftian galactic conqueror monster. He's treated like the ancient one of the TV series. Krang is a supernatural alien conqueror who is going to take over the Earth and terraform us all into mutants like the Krang. Basically, Casey Jones is a part of the Resistance. Casey is the son of Cassandra Jones, and Leonardo is his sensei in the future. Future Leo and Mikey die, sending Casey Jones back to the past to prevent Krang from successfully conquering the Earth. Casey Jones, the male one we all know and like, is transported back to present-day New York, where he teams up with the modern Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles gang. Basically, they have to stop the Foot Clan from stealing a key, which will open up Krang's intergalactic prison and unleash him on Earth, where he'll rebuild his empire by terraforming and mutating our planet. Krang and his siblings are super creepy ass villains in this. They are horrifying and not once played for comedy. They are dead serious. Every time they show up, the mood darkens and the turtles get serious. The Krang are basically that lethal threat which forces the turtles to grow up and finally take this seriously. Well, I'm back. Had to comment on other stuff. Glad you made it back, just some random guy. Kind of like James Gunn's Slither mixed with The Thing. If the 2003 show did make an anime follow-up, which studio should put in charge of it? I'm not too familiar with studios like my brother Wolf is. Yeah, Haley Joel Osment is Casey Jones, and honestly he does a pretty good job. Me, I'd either take Trigger, Madhouse, or Science Saru. Okay. So, the Krang come in and they instantly start killing people. They mass murder the Foot Clan and mutate their bodies into mutant foot soldiers who will obey their every command. Everything the Krang touches is mutated. It turns into like this Lovecraftian kind of creepy flesh pit kind of background. Everything is like made of flesh. Everything has eyeballs on it. Everything is turning into like a tentacle hentai monster, that kind of stuff. Basically, Casey Jones meets the Turtles and has them help him. They need to close the portal and send Krang back to Dimension X where he was imprisoned. They work together. Casey Jones starts to lose faith in Leonardo. He looked up to Leo as his hero because in the future, Leo is the greatest ninjutsu master ever and his beloved sensei. However, young Leo is not that same guy. Leo is impulsive, is reckless, is an arrogant jerk, and starts to get called out by Casey Jones. Basically, Leo has to grow up, and he's realizing that he's failing as a hero after everyone calls him out on it. Raphael is actually mauled in this movie and taken out. He gets impaled by one of the Krang and sent across into like their prison, basically. Raphael gets taken out, meaning they don't have the leader of the show anymore backing them up. The April O'Neil of the comics is Afro-American. Also, the comics has a more violent content. No, April is not black in the comics. She just has an 80s perm, but they use that excuse because she has black woman hair. It's like, bro, everyone in the 80s had kind of the same hairstyle. I remember what Shredder did to Baxter Stockman. He basically reduced him to just a brain and an eye. Yeah, in the 03 show, that one was pretty horrifying. All the turtles are red. In the comics, yeah, they all wear the red bandana. They didn't get colors until later comics and the TV shows. So, I really like the animation in this movie. It looks a bit like flashy and trippy, but super cool. Krang actually gets like a xenomorph body for his exosuit. Yeah, they don't use the sumo wrestler from the 80s show. Krang gets kind of a xenomorph kind of exosuit. It has a xenomorph skull, it has the claw hands, it has that scorpion tail basically, and yeah, I really dug it. Krang's voice actor, really creepy, has this kind of eerie, like Quintesson voice. Krang is basically conquering the planet, slowly mutating it, and he basically is hunting the turtles down to get the interdimensional key back so he can open open up to unleash all the Krang soldiers still trapped in Dimension X. Power Rangers versus Ninja Turtles. Hard choice. Ooh, that brutality of the 2003 had. Yeah, pretty hardcore. At least Rise movie, Leo had a better moral, unlike Goosebumps Don't Go to Sleep. Yeah, anything's better than Don't Go to Sleep. Sorry, just reading some comments. So basically, get a kick-ass action sequence. It is totally all-out war. The Krang are successfully winning. They are too OP for the Turtles to handle. Krang actually depowers the Ninja Turtles' mystic powers, meaning Leo actually has to use his skills and talent and wits to back him up. He can't rely on his OP magic anymore. Raphael gets brainwashed into a Krang mutant soldier, forcing the Turtles to fight him. April O'Neil and Splinter are actually useful in this movie compared to their show counterparts where they really sucked. The Krang, very deadly, very lethal. Krang has a sister who uses a Wild Mutt kind of tech suit, and a little brother who uses like a Quintesson tech suit. They're basically summoning the Technodrome, and this movie is pretty much what Out of the Shadows' plot should have been. Krang and his siblings are summoning the Technodrome to invade the Earth and are actually succeeding. The Technodrome looks pretty horrifying too. It has a very Lovecraftian design. It's this giant orb with tentacles, and the tech eye is kind of replaced with an Eye of Sauron eye. Kind of, again, Lovecraftian, very gothic horror-esque. The Krang are portrayed very dead seriously in this movie, and I think that's what made them very threatening. This might be one of my favorite interpretations of Krang. An obscure crossover. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers did meet in space. I remember seeing that, but unfortunately it's the Next Mutation Turtles, and we don't like those turtles around here. So, as I said, Leo basically grows up. He matures into the Leonardo we know and love. Ben Schwartz plays Leonardo, and yeah, it is kind of hard to unhear Sonic the Hedgehog from his voice, but I thought he did a pretty good job. His Leo captures like the raw emotion, the insecurity he's feeling, and pretty much wises up throughout this fight. They're losing very badly. Leonardo has faith that they can win. He regains hope when he realizes that actually the future's not set in stone because they did change events. This is not how the war played out. We find out in a twist, the Krang actually successfully conquered the planet, but here they're still struggling to fight the Ninja Turtles, meaning there's a silver lining of hope there. First, there's TMNT versus Spider-Man. Next is TMNT versus Spider-Man. Okay, TMNT versus Batman, sorry. I see more like Randy Cunningham. All they needed in this movie was Cthulhu in it. Yeah, again, very Lovecraftian. I would like to see Raphael interact with Venom. Yeah, that could really work. Raphael, symbiote, they would bond, definitely. Would love to see Raph Venom beat up Carnage. But anyway, Leonardo basically realizes that he can change the future, and he grows up, he fights the Krang, he frees Raphael thanks to the power of brotherly love. Yeah, the power of love helps ward off the Krang brainwashing. They actually very cleverly destroy the Technodrome. They find out that they can't send it back, but they can send it in between the portal, and if they close the portal on the Technodrome, it'll slice it right in half. And yeah, that's actually a pretty clever plan. They fight the Krang, Leonardo fights General Krang himself. We get a cool fight with Xenomorph Krang fighting all the Ninja Turtles. They re-unlock their mystic powers, have this epic Dragon Ball Z style battle. April O'Neil deforms Krang's sister and beats her and her forces. The baby brother gets dethroned and crushed by Donatello. They send the Technodrome partially back through the portal, but Leo and Krang are still on the other side fighting, but Leo sacrifices himself where they destroy the Technodrome by closing the portal when it's in the halfway point, cutting the Technodrome in half and destroying Krang's rule over the Earth. Krang and Leo are lost in Dimension X. They're both still trying to kill each other. And Mikey unlocks his inner Master Roshi and unlocks mystical powers where he opens up a portal and brings Leonardo back because he had faith in him. And Leo escapes, Krang is stranded in Dimension X forever, and the Turtles are finally the team we know and love, protecting New York and all that jazz. I despise how Batman curb stomped the Turtles in the crossover. Yeah, we'll get to that one soon. Well, TMNT had a Naruto crossover. Oh, I did not know that. Imagine Shredder with a Carnage symbiote, like in Spider-Man. TMNT crossover, yikes. Yeah, that would be epic. Remember Batman vs. the Ninja Turtles has Shredder Joker. I really hope we get a sequel to that, Shredder Joker. Kat, what crossover would you like from the Ninja Turtles? Actually, I think the Ninja Turtles meet Sailor Moon would be pretty cool. My brother's a hardcore Sailor Moon fan, so seeing the Sailor Scouts and the Turtles meet up would be pretty awesome. Crossover was totally awesome, though. Yeah, you're all looking forward to that one. Soon, my pet, soon. But yeah, Rise of the TMNT, pretty underrated. Actually really like this movie. It is not an S-tier masterpiece, but it actually redeemed the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, and was an awesome finale and a huge love letter for Turtles fans. So I'll stick it on totally awesome. Alright, final two. Let's go. So, it's gonna be very sad. But I did not like Mutant Mayhem. Yeah, this one's going on bad. I'll put it high above Michael Bay's crap in TMNT 3, but yeah, I'm not a fan of Mutant Mayhem. This one, the Turtles are teenagers, and unfortunately, Seth Rogen directed this movie, and he wanted to go realistic with the Turtles, and he basically age lifted the Turtles to be even younger. Here, they're not high school teenagers, they're middle school teenagers, and the Turtles are voiced by actual 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds, and oh boy, the Turtles are annoying in this movie. The Turtles are like these very obnoxious, constantly screaming Zoomers. I know they're supposed to be realistic kids, but that is also the problem. They're annoying, realistic kids. I did not like Mutant Mayhem. I thought it was basically on par with Out of the Shadows. They did love the Turtle franchise and did do some good things, but they still had a lot of juvenile comedy, a lot of lame writing, and the Turtles are not very good characters in this. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, Jackie Chan is Master Splinter, but honestly, I don't know why they even got him. He barely does anything in this movie. Yeah, Jackie Chan is Master Splinter, and they barely use him. Let that sink in, folks. What? Yeah, here come the angry comments. Mutant Mayhem movie I also haven't seen. I know, Yara liked Mutant Mayhem. I remember you saying that on Twitter. I thought Raphael would interact with Venom / Eddie Brock because they're both rebellious, tough, and badass. Yeah, that could work. It would have to be the Dick Sailor Scouts. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm fine with that, though. Yeah, I know, I'm getting all the hate comments. What, you hated Mutant Mayhem? Look, the Turtles are annoying in this movie. Like, good God, how did you put up with that? OMG, I'm gonna be on Instagram. Oh no, I accidentally impaled Raphael's shell. And it's like, oh God, man, shut up. Also, I can't hear Gumball actor playing Donnie. yeah, Gumball is Donatello. Jackie Chan crossover with the Ninja Turtles waiting. Jackie Chan Adventures Jackie, most definitely. The sudden clothes change logic, yeah, behind the magical girls. About on par with all the grown-up in tone. Look, like I'm too late, but here's what I want to say about the Turtle Forever film. It was an embarrassment for the franchise. Don't worry, Anime Night, I agree. It's on meh. It won points because it's better than Michael Bay's crap. Are you kidding me? Other than moping for his boy's disappearance, I will agree about how barely utilized Splinter's character was. Yeah, that was kind of the problem. Splinter doesn't do much. He actually doesn't want his boys going up to the surface, whereas the boys get curious and go up. Yeah, Sailor Scouts are the only ones. Well, my sister hate that is the ending. Why not call the Shredder? That's right. The Shredder is not the villain of this movie. Instead, it's Ice Cube as Superfly. Yeah, Ice Cube is the villain. He's Superfly. Basically, the Baxter Stockman fly mutant, who's not really Baxter Stockman. Basically, the Turtles are fighting an evil mutant in this version. Ice Cube's Superfly wants to do what Michael Bay's movie did and make a giant mutagen bomb that will infect everyone and turn them into mutants to make a mutant kingdom. Bebop and Rocksteady are in this movie. Sorry, movie. I said it like Austin Powers. Yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady are in this movie. They're Superflies, fellow mutant henchmen. Basically, they're trying to start like a mutant uprising, and the Turtles are exploring the human world for the first time and gaining an attachment to it, and realize that they want to become heroes defending it. That's coming up, anime. Did you do the TMNT Batman one? Nope, we're saving that one for last. Almost, but we gotta talk about Mutant Mayhem. Nicholas Cantu was Otto and Haley. Okay. If it makes you feel better, maybe the sequel will be better. I hope so. Shredder is not actually in this movie. I think Krang is in this movie. Basically, Maya Rudolph might be Krang. Yeah, let that sink in. Maya Rudolph plays like this government agent who's trying to track down the mutants and study the Ninja Turtles. She dresses and has a similar color scheme to Krang's robot, and fans are theorizing that she might be an Utrum. I swear, if Maya Rudolph is Krang, I think I'm gonna skip the sequel completely. So, there's a lot more goofy-ass comedy in this movie. It tries to be like the Spider-Verse, basically. That kind of style, that animation, that humor. It does that weird few frames per second kind of animation. I am getting real sick of seeing that in movies, honestly, and the Ninja Turtles should definitely be an A-tier animated movie, but it wasn't. Yeah, Leo crushes on April, and this might honestly be the worst April next to Megan Fox. April is now Mindy Kaling's Velma. Yes, really. They drew her like Mindy Kaling's Velma. April O'Neil is now a fat black YouTuber. She's like on social media. She's being a internet journalist, and April is not at all attractive. I do not ever believe that any boy would be attracted to this fat, bad-skinned, ugly nerd girl. Like, she's not pretty in this. They made April look ugly. I love that somebody made kind of a comparison chart of about how April has gotten less hot over the years, and yeah, the fat black April looks the worst. Like, she's not attractive. I'm sorry. I thought she looked prettier in Rise of the TMNT. Not against a black April, but they didn't make her look like April. They made her look like Mindy Kaling's Velma, which made me hate her more. Well, that's unfortunate. Mindy Kaling, the 2020 Velma, that's who I'm referring to if you don't know who that is. Yeah, you know, the fat Indian Velma from Mindy Kaling's god-awful Scooby spinoff. Yeah, that's what she looks like in this. That's unfortunate. Yeah, can we stop making black women look ugly? Because April should be hot, even with her skin change. 2003 April O'Neil, 90s and 80s April are the best. Fully agree, James. Fully agree. Also, Mr. Beast has a cameo in this movie. Oh, man, that makes it so much worse. Where's the demonic Scrappy when you need him to take out similar character design? Yeah, that's a good one. Wish this April did die. Just call her Jerk Velma. Yeah, okay. I call her Mindy Kaling Velma because anyone who knows that show knows how bad she is. Just watching the trailer alone, you'll get a good impression. I prefer Mutant Mayhem April over Velma any day. Me, they're both equally fugly. Yeah, Leo has a crush on April, and to their credit, she's kind of the bridge between humanity and the turtles. The turtles learn more about society through her. The turtles get into kind of quirky kid adventures through this. They're mastering their ninjutsu, slowly becoming the heroes New York needs. April actually befriends them. However, Superfly and his villain endeavors slowly cross paths. And I will say Ice Cube is actually pretty good in this movie. He's definitely having fun and he's very intimidating as a villain. He's basically the Fly Baxter Stockman. It's very weird. Baxter Stockman is in this movie, but apparently he dies and Superfly is like his mutant son or something. It's kind of quirky and a weird change. I can respect doing something new, but honestly, it probably would have been better if it just was Baxter Stockman Fly, but whatever. Superfly wants to create like a mutant kingdom and he's going to attack the world, but he wants to like recruit the turtles. The turtles decide to stand by humanity, and basically we get a big badass action fight scene where they fight Superfly. Well, same with you, Christopher. Yeah, you prefer Mutant Mayhem. Oh, and Alex Hirsch was Scumbug. The only ship is April and Casey. Yeah, April and Casey, they do get married in the '03 show. They probably are better together because they can reproduce with human children, but that's not my call to make. Yeah, April gets shipped with Leo in this movie, and of course, you can guess the turtles choose to fight for the side of good and defeat Superfly. Oh, and Master Splinter is also gay in this movie and has sex with a cockroach man. Yeah, you did not mishear that. He has sex with a cockroach named Scumbug, and I feel if I were a gay person, I'd feel insulted by this because he's having gay sex with a hideous mutant cockroach thing. Yeah, Alex Hirsch voices a character called Scumbug, and oh man, this thing looks hideous. Like, no gay guy would ever want to tap that, I'll just say that. Super duper fly. Also, Seth Rogen is making an animated Venom movie, R-rated. Oh, that gives me some hope, but seeing how he did Sausage Party reminds me that he's not a good director either. I never saw that film, and now I can no longer look at Splinter the same. Yeah, Splinter's actually gay in this. Nothing wrong with that, but he deserves so much better than a cockroach man to make love with. Oh, and to add insult to injury, the cockroach is voiced by Alex Hirsch. Yeah, very terrible choice. Robot Chicken made a ship between April and Shredder. Yeah, I saw that. April and the Shredder have like a Romeo and Juliet. That I would take much more over Michael Bay's crap. Oh, and also Paul Rudd is in this as Mondo Gecko. I'll just say I preferred Robbie Wrist as Mondo Gecko and leave it there. He was also not funny. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Mutant Mayhem, I'm not a fan of the comedy in this, and I do not like the turtles. I just found them so annoying, and unfortunately, because they're the main characters, we're stuck with them. The turtles are annoying. It's not funny. I'm not a fan of that Spider-Verse animation being used on the Ninja Turtles. I mean, unless it was Turtles Forever, it would have been better, but here, no. And Seth Rogen has not grown up comedy writing-wise, so yeah, you could probably tell how good it is. I do not trust Seth Rogen with comedy after he made Santa Inc. So yeah, I would actually recommend skipping this one. I know some people like it. It's not the worst movie ever, but for my personal bias, I am putting it at rock bottom. Mutant Mayhem certainly lived up to its title. Can Splinter end up with a male mouse instead? Yeah, it would have been better than having sex with a cockroach. I remember the sketch how April said that she and Shredder dry hump and Raphael became enraged. Yeah. I didn't fart, it was Krang. Also, Kat, have you heard of Poppy Playtime? No, I have not. It's April Fresh. When I heard Robot Chicken while talking about TMNT, that immediately came into my head. Alright, we're on our last one, but I'm gonna take my last restroom break because we got a lot to talk about with the ultimate finale, Batman vs. the Ninja Turtles. BRB. Catabunga. We're back, and let's do it. Batman versus the TMNT, going on to Cowabunga. Yep, this is my second favorite Turtles movie. It is a perfect 10 out of 10 crossover for me. Yeah, I know there are some problems, but this movie is a whole lot of fun. Let's see, everyone. Yeah, Casey Jones and April, and Karai and Cat. Ah, thank you, James. Yeah, I dig Karai. She's basically TMNT Catwoman, so of course I do. Well, Batman vs. TMNT is cool, but Harley Hyena is nightmare fuel. Yeah, the mutant Batman villains. Yep, save the best for last. Definitely wanted to. I wanted to end on a positive note because I know everyone's gonna kill me for hating on Mutant Mayhem. Well, the gay debunked to start with Jackie Chan wanted them to scrap it, so Scumbug is a girl. I think she might be a girl in China, but whatever. Still a gross bug. It doesn't matter what her gender is. I haven't seen this crossover, but I can bet myself that it's good and worth checking out. Yeah, Juan, it is a definitely underrated DC movie. They actually got the rights to the Ninja Turtles, and Warner Brothers and Nick actually came together for an agreement to split the profits on Batman versus the TMNT. It is Troy Baker's Batman, so you know he is decent because he starred as the Dark Knight on the Telltale series around the same time. They did not get any of the iconic Ninja Turtle voices. I was hoping they'd get the 2012 Turtles, but no, they were too busy doing the Loud House, so instead they got a bunch of celebrity voice actors. I like that the Batman villains turn into animals. They mutate into animals, Monica, and that was definitely a highlight. I didn't watch this one all the way through. Oh, Ira, you're missing out. It was pretty underrated. Is there another ship in the franchise? I think Raphael and Mona Lisa, if you want to count that. Raphael loved that space gecko up in the space season. A ship that is acceptable? Yeah, Raph and Mona Lisa are around the same age. What do you think of the crossover with the TMNT with Marvel as a sequel to this film? You know, I actually think that could work, but who would the Ninja Turtles meet in Marvel? Most likely Spider-Man, but I could see them meeting the X-Men because they're both mutants. Alright, but anyways, Batman versus the TMNT. So, Ra's al Ghul and the Shredder have teamed up to join forces. Both their ninja clans work together to basically make a super duper mutant armada. They plan to conquer Gotham City and New York. Kind of weird because Gotham and New York are kind of the same city. They plan to conquer their cities with a mutant army of their own. However, they need to pull some strings and defeat both their enemies, Batman and the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles actually show up in Gotham City trying to track the Shredder down and foil his evil mutant plan. However, they bump into Batman. Batman is voiced by Troy Baker, who I love. He made my top 10 Batman. One of the best Batman ever, thanks to the Telltale series, and of course he does pretty good here. Troy Baker is also the Joker in this, and also pretty good at that because he does a Mark Hamill impression. They come to Gotham basically to thwart the Shredder's evil plan, not knowing he's joined forces with Ra's al Ghul, and they're manipulating events to turn the Turtles and Batman against each other. Gotta go, but this was fun, even if you hated the Bay films. Sorry, Jon Snow, not into Megan Fox. What do you think of the crossover with the TMNT? I read that one. Too bad the Street Sharks aren't as popular as TMNT, because Street Sharks could have been darker the more you think about it. Yeah, Street Sharks should make a comeback. One scenes that make me laugh in the scene how Poison Ivy became a plant and couldn't reach the heroes. It made me feel sorry for her. Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, he was the Joker on Arkham Origins, so you know he's a good Joker there too. Yeah, Darren Criss is in this movie. He's one of the Turtles. I think he's either Leo or Donnie. So the Ninja Turtles fight Batman, basically. They kind of mistake the other as the villain. So for those wondering, Batman's side has Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, and Damian Wayne Robin. Yes, really, Damian Wayne Robin. Basically, they mistake the Turtles as the true villains, and they both have, like, a lot of confrontations in the first act. There's actually a very clever fake out where Barbara Gordon is dressed up like the 2003 April O'Neil, so it tricks you because she's in a science lab dressed like '03 April. However, we find out when the danger strikes, she turns into Batgirl, revealing Barbara Gordon's in this movie, and she is actually pretty fun. They did de-age her into like a teenage age and not the college girl age, but yeah, she's pretty cool. She kicks ass. She has like her own photo op. She takes selfies with the villain she beats up. Pretty cute and quirky. Maybe it's because Dick is Nightwing at the time. Yeah, too bad Dick Grayson didn't even cameo in this. Plus, seeing Batman and Shredder fighting was cool. Yeah, that happens. Batman's trying to foil a scheme, finding out that it's the Shredder, and this is easily the best part of the movie. Batman fighting the Shredder. Like, who didn't really love this with all your fanboy inner child? It is really kick-ass. What's his name? Andrew Kishino voices the Shredder, and he's alright. He's trying to do kind of an impression of the guy from the 90s movie. It's definitely decent, not a good voice, but I didn't think he did a bad job either. Kishino is actually a pretty alright Shredder, but yeah, his fight scene with Batman is epic. Batman versus the Shredder kicks ass, and Batman actually loses to the Shredder, which shows you how tough the Shredder really is as a kick-ass villain. Batman gets beat up, he goes to the Batcave, and unfortunately, the Turtles manage to infiltrate the Batcave because they crawl through the sewers. They locate the device that they were tracking there, and they fight Batman and Damian Wayne Robin, and it's a pretty fun fight. A bit goofy because, you know, the Ninja Turtles at their core are silly children's characters, but yeah, it's a pretty fun fight. Yeah, Keith Ferguson was also in it. And Judd Rowe Hasselback. What? Cowabunga! And punches to the face of her Shredder. At least this Barbara is better than the one in The Killing Joke. Oh yeah, definitely by far. For one, they didn't make her have sex with Batman. Channel Awesome should also make a fanscription rewrite for Disaster Movie. Yeah, I can see them doing that. Also, why didn't Joker turn into a shark then a cobra? I guess because sharks can't breathe on land, but it would have been ridiculous seeing a Jabberjaw version of the Joker. So they have a fight in the Batcave, but ultimately, Batman realizes that the Turtle Boys are actually good guys, and they're both fighting for the cause of good and trying to stop the same villains. So, yeah, there is some favoritism towards Batman. You can really tell Warner Brothers was not pulling punches on their crossover with Nick, because the Turtles get their shells whooped by the Dark Knight very easily. I mean, I know we all know Batman's a badass, but come on, the Turtles couldn't get like one good lick in. Yeah, Batman beats the Turtles, but they team up together when they find out that Shredder and Ra's al Ghul have formed a deadly alliance, Mortal Kombat style, and they've brought mutagen into Gotham City. Basically, they made a deal with the Joker. While Batman and the Turtles are distracted fighting each other, they go to the Joker because they need his Joker Venom, like his ingredients, like a secret formula for the Joker Venom, to mix with the mutagen to turn everyone into a crazy mutant. Joker, in exchange, gets a batch of mutagen for his own devices to fight Batman, and this is definitely the highlight of the film. The Joker takes the mutagen and mutates all of the Arkham Asylum inmates into monsters from the Ninja Turtles. Weird, they said Tara Strong voiced Harley, but not Babs. Yeah, that is weird. She did voice Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. I guess they didn't want to pay her for a third role. First, Splinter or Mikey. Cowabunga! Blaze and My Little Pony. Rachel Bloom, that's who she was. Okay, Rachel Bloom was Batgirl. She did pretty good. Remember when the bad movie Batman and Robin said, Cowabunga? Yeah, it's more of a Ninja Turtles thing. Jeff Goldblum as Baxter Stockman fly. Yeah, you can really tell this movie had a ton of fun because Baxter Stockman is also in this movie as Shredder's chief henchman, and they very clearly based him off of Jeff Goldblum because Jeff Goldblum was the fly. It's a very cute in joke and definitely a lot of adult jokes. The Shredder and the Turtles actually kill people in this movie too, so they really pushed the boundaries for what they could get away with on the Ninja Turtles in this one too. Also, why Mr. Freeze turned into a polar bear? Like, is he having ice Coca-Cola? Yeah, because polar bears are cold creatures. So is the Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island still going to be an upcoming review for the channel, or do we have to wait till House shits it out? Man, House broke it, okay? House ate it, it's gone. Also, Carlos El Lazaraki is Bane, like he was the luchador in Hansel and Gretel. Carlos also played Bane in Justice League Doom, so he was a good choice. And yeah, this part was so cool, fighting the mutant Arkham inmates. They break into the asylum, they fight Joker's a king cobra, Harley Quinn's a hyena, Poison Ivy's a plant that's literally stuck in the ground, Mr. Freeze is a polar bear with an ice gun, Bane is weirdly a cat boy in this version, the Scarecrow's a flying crow that can shoot fear gas. If you read the comic, the Mad Hatter was also supposed to be in it. The Mad Hatter turns into like a bunny. He's kind of like a stand-in for Usagi Yojimbo, kind of a reference to that, but I guess they clipped the Mad Hatter out because a rabbit is just not scary as a giant crow or polar bear. And Two-Face becomes like a two-headed jackal, which pretty cool, honestly. Really cool mutant designs, and seeing Batman the Turtles fight mutant versions of the infamous Gotham DC villains is really radical. It is fun. It is a kick-ass time. Troy Baker bantering as both Batman and Joker is pretty fun. Batman also gets hit with a mutation dart and turns into Man-Bat. And this is where I defend the movie. Even though Batman easily beat up the Turtles earlier, the Turtles actually beat Man-Bat Batman. They cure him with a cure dart and they save him, where Batman has to basically be forced to realize that the Turtles are worthy allies who can help him. Monty Python Holy Grail Rabbit says otherwise.
Oh, Capalug. I love that rabbit.
Yeah, you love that rabbit, Wolf?
Also, I'm sorry. I heard you saying that Mad Hatter being a rabbit as a reference to Usagi, and not going for the more obvious white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, he was a white rabbit in the comics, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably more so a reference to that.
Well, well, he was also a white rabbit. Usagi Yojimbo was a white rabbit too.
Oh yeah, I'm very aware.
Yeah. Sorry, Wolf's making his cameo.
I'm just saying, there is that other lens you can see it through.
Yeah, you can.
It bothered me that you missed it.
Jeff Goldblum, the Ninja Turtles are. Yeah, pretty good Jeff Goldblum impression. Yeah, Keith Ferguson played Baxter Stockman Fly, and he did a really good Goldblum impression. One joke I remember where Harley used Shredder's mask to see that she had lipstick on her teeth. Yeah, Harley Quinn's a troll. And why Bane turned into a jaguar? Like, why not a Quetzalcoat? Maybe it was too hard to draw. Rabbit's not scary. You haven't seen Watership Down movie. The dog was scarier in that movie. Two-Face is a two-headed cat, not a jackal. Okay, my mistake. It's very hard to tell. He just has two animal heads. That was all they did with him. Jeff Goldblum. Oh. And don't forget the March Hare, yeah. So, yeah, Alice in Wonderland has the White Rabbit and the March Hare. I guess they wanted to do an allusion to that, but rabbits aren't scary, so they deleted the Mad Hatter from the adaptation. Catwoman is not in the movie. Yeah, that saddened me, but makes sense because Catwoman would not be locked in Arkham Asylum because she's a sane criminal. She's just in regular prison. Hang on, I'll be right back. Gotta take care of something. Alright, I'm back. Sorry it took me so long. I was also grabbing more water. Or a cheetah. Yeah, Catwoman could have been a cheetah. That would have been a funny reference. Catwoman would be a Black Panther. Yeah, that would make sense, honestly. Yeah, Catwoman's not in this movie. Heartbroken. As much as I love Selina, it does make sense that she wouldn't be locked in Arkham Asylum because that's where Batman's crazy villains are. I believe we could have forgiven them if she was in there, but nope, she's not in there. Instead, we got Harley and Poison Ivy as our hot supervillain ladies. Reference to an old episode of Batman the Animated Series. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tiger Tiger. Classic episode, really underrated. My only problem was Selina was not good at being a sexy cat girl. The cheetah from Justice League was way hotter and more badass. Anyways, of course, they defeat the Snake Joker and they cure all the Arkham inmates. And Batman and the Turtles finally work together to have that big epic boss fight against the Shredder and Ra's al Ghul. And exactly like both the Michael Bay movie and Mutant Mayhem, they have to stop them from sending out a giant mutant bomb that's going to mutate everyone into crazy Joker mutants. Yeah, seriously, that is the big final fight. It's not as cool as the Asylum fight, but definitely fun still. Batman has a rematch with the Shredder, and Leonardo trades partners and fights Ra's al Ghul. And it is pretty funny that Leonardo kicks Ra's al Ghul in the nuts. He'll need a Lazarus pit for that one. It is pretty cool because Leonardo finally accepts his responsibilities and reaches Batman's level, fighting one of Batman's most powerful villains, Ra's al Ghul. Batman has a rematch with Shredder and cooperates with the Ninja Turtles, and we get the all-time fan favorite line, "Any last words?" Yeah, 2 words. Yeah, any last words? Cowabunga. What? Cowabunga? And Mikey jumps him, knocking the Shredder into the Joker acid. Yes, Shredder falls into the Joker acid, leading to a sequel I hope we get. Shredder's defeated, Batman learns teamwork, and Leo bests Ra's al Ghul, while Donnie and Mikey blow up the mutagen bomb and parachute down, saving the day, and Mikey got to press every button in the Batmobile. Yep, the Shredder becomes Joker Shredder in the post-credit scene. Really hope we get a sequel to that. There is a door left open. They do imply we're gonna get another Batman vs. TMNT. Maybe next time we'll see Casey Jones, Master Splinter, and April, and other characters from Batman we did not meet in this first one. But yeah, the Turtle Boys and the Dark Knight Batman family save the day, and they finally learn to appreciate each other, and Batman tries a slice of pizza. Yeah, they have a pizza party in the end, because of course they do. This movie, kick-ass. I would actually give it a 10 out of 10 if I reviewed it. Might one day in the future, but considering my Justice League Dark review keeps getting blocked, I'm questioning that. But yeah, if you wonder, 10 out of 10, Gold Skull, it is awesome. Batman vs. the TMNT is an epic crossover. It has the best of both franchises. There's clear love for the Dark Knight, and a lot of love for the Ninja Turtles, and really crazy ideas when they clash together. I also remember how Alfred became annoyed of the Turtles and their antics. Yeah, he is dealing with teenagers. Yeah, also Karai was absent. She wasn't as important as the Jeff Goldblum Baxter Stockman. Cheetah and Catwoman being sensual versus Cheetah being sensual. If we're counting the DCAU, I do have to go with Cheetah. As much as I love DCAU Catwoman, she's still S tier to me, but I do prefer Justice League Cheetah a bit more. Like, I hope Shredder versus Ra's al Ghul be in Death Battle soon. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I can see that making 1,000,000 hits. Hopefully we'll get Spider-Man and the TMNT crossover. Based on the post-credit scene, it might be another DC crossover because the Shredder survived falling in the acid and became Joker Shredder. And I'm really curious to see where they're gonna go with this, if there is a sequel. We haven't had any word on it yet, but considering that this movie is not that old, I can see DC doing something in the future again with Batman and the Ninja Turtles. Has anyone seen the rap battle video of the Turtles versus the artist they're named after? No, I have not. Yeah, Batman folds his pizza. Yeah, he eats it like Chicago style or something. To think Alfred would be used to teenagers. Yeah, you'd think he would. He did raise Bruce, you know, and Dick Grayson and Tim Drake and the irritating Jason Todd. Like, I hope Nino from Miraculous tried to understand the ways of the turtle. He probably would. But yeah, that is a classic movie, and as you can see, we completed our Ninja Turtle films. Take one snapshot if you want. I'll show you them all one last time, because now we actually have time to go over them all. Yeah, so 4 epic turtle masterpieces, 4 awful pieces of garbage, and 2 in the middle. We got totally awesome. I do count Rise of the TMNT as a good movie, so yeah, we'll count it as 5 good movies, and 4 bad ones and 1 mixed one. Alright, I'll go over these one more time, just getting some water. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I really love the Ninja Turtles, so this was a fun one to do. For any of you late birds, we'll go over it one last time. Wait, Mutant Mayhem is at the bottom? No fair. I'm sorry, James. I'm not a fan of it. We wait for the cartoon tier list. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure we might do the TV shows. We all know Next Mutation would be an F tier, but everything else might be higher. I've absolutely enjoyed this live stream so much, Kat. I need to check out your other videos and topics, rather than waiting for the next chapter of the Goosebumps saga / review. That was awesome. Thanks for another fun time, Kat. Alright, we'll go over them one last time, because some of you might be late birds, so don't worry. We'll give the short version. So, down here at the... Shell Shock, the bad ones. We have... Of course, Michael Bay's crap. They are bad films. Michael Bay has not made a good franchise love letter in forever. His last good one was Transformers 1. Not the animated one, his first one, back in 2007. Yeah, his Ninja Turtle films, surprise, are crap. And we have TMNT 3, the time travel one. It's just plain stupid. It is stupid, it is lame, it's juvenile, and not very funny. Even kids hated this movie. That's how bad it was. And unfortunately, my controversial pick, Mutant Mayhem, I just find the Turtles annoying. I'm sorry. I know everybody loved this movie. Everybody thought it was a huge step in the right direction after Michael Bay's crap. I'll give it that. And there are some good moments, but the Turtles are just too irritating to me, and I did not like Seth Rogen's comedy. Seth Rogen used to be the funniest guy ever, and he should stop doing animated projects. Mutant Mayhem, not a fan of. I'm sorry, but it's going in the bad. Then in meh, Turtles Forever. This used to be an all-time classic. Some people still love it, but I just hate how the 80s Turtles are mistreated. It did them a huge disservice. The 80s Turtle and 80s Shredder all suck in this movie. It is clearly showing favoritism towards the 03 saga. The idea is cool, and there is a lot of loving tributes to everything TMNT, but it's a mixed bag. I'm sorry. It's miles better than all the ones down here, though, for sure. Multi-part Disney tier list. Might have to do the Disney Renaissance. I do like that. Gumball was Leonardo. Yeah, so I heard. Another great tier list, Cat and Wolf, as always. Keep up the hard work on the channel. Great content. Thank you, Christopher. We do have a new video available on our Patreon. It is, you do have to become a Patreon, but we're not charging for this one, so don't feel bad about it. But hopefully you guys like it. It is a nice surprise. At good, we don't have really any, because most of them are totally awesome or higher. Totally awesome. Rise of the TMNT, the movie. Yep, they actually did a good job for this show. They actually redeemed Rise of the TMNT with this movie. It is underrated. I really liked it. The animation's cool. Krang is scary in this movie, and Leo actually gets a good character arc, which fully redeems his awful portrayal on the show. I actually think it's a good turtle movie and would recommend watching it. It's also very short, only like 80 minutes, and 10 of those minutes are credits, so check it out. I guess it's too soft when he said he liked Turtles forever. Let's see you try and do a DCEU tier list if you hadn't done it already. Well, every movie would get an F except for Shazam. Like TMNT is cool, it's like a shame that Karai never had a special spot. I love Karai, but she never got justice in these movies. She's at her best in the CGI one, I will say, but the rest, she's just like an in-name only character. Definitely love Kelly Hu Karai and the 2003 Karai. Anyways, Cowabunga! Secret of the Ooze. Underrated sequel. I know it's a lot more child-friendly and safe, but it's fun. It's like the Batman Forever for the classic trilogy. I had so much fun. It's very creative. It's very goofy, but a total love letter for the 80s cartoon. Secret of the Ooze is a great sequel, and I will defend it. TMNT 2007, another underrated entry. This did not do good on initial release, but honestly I really love it. It has a beautiful message about family and fighting for those you love. The Turtles are kick-ass, the voice cast is awesome in this movie, the action's great, the animation is incredible and still holds up very well. I will defend that this is a good Turtles movie, and definitely deserves a lot more love. It is still a cowabunga classic. Loved it as a kitten, still love it now. Batman versus the TMNT. This one, 10 out of 10, perfect. It is a great movie. It is fun. Love Batman, love the Turtles, love the wacky misadventures of them getting into a crossover. Love seeing how DC and Turtle lore clash with each other. It is totally awesome. It is a cowabunga classic. And of course, number one, the 90s movie, the first ever Ninja Turtles movie. This is basically a timeless classic. It is still a fan favorite among us Turtles fans. It is the movie that made the Turtles a household name. If the cartoon introduced the Turtles to kids, this introduced the Turtles to big kids and adults. There is a lot to appreciate here. It is kind of like Batman 1989, the Tim Burton movie. It is that good. It really changed the genre for superhero movies. I'll put it that way. Love Jim Henson's Muppets. Love Elias Koteas as Casey. The Shredder is scary in this movie. The action is pretty fun. It's got a good sense of humor and some seriously mature storytelling. It is the number one Turtle Tale. This is Monica signing off. Sorry I was late. TMNT and DC is a much better crossover than with Scooby-Doo. I thought Batman meets Scooby-Doo was fine. I meant to say Doug was too soft when he said he likes Turtles forever. Oh, yeah, that was soft. Turtle Power. I prefer Rise of the TMNT movie over the Teen Titans Go movie. Oh, bro, a pile of crap is better than the Teen Titans Go movie. Just reading some final comments. Okay, see ya, Monica. So that completes our tier list. Take one last snapshot if you haven't seen. I still really love the Ninja Turtles to this day. There are some crap in the Turtles franchise, but a lot more good, a lot more delicious pizza slices. I highly recommend watching the Ninja Turtles, especially the 80s show, the 2000 show, the 2012 show, and all these masterpiece movies. So that pretty much completes our tier list. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, or just tune in for more videos posted here on Wolf Entertainment. I'm your bodacious host, Catastrophe, and I wish you all a turtle-tastic day. See you later, you heroes in a half shell.